Welcome to the program. It's Erik Nagel, and that is me. Phone lines are open, 866-969-1969. Thank you for joining us on our, I guess it's technically a Halloween show.
It's Mischief Night.
Right.
Oh, I thought it was Devil's Night.
Right.
Was it Devil's Night? When I grew up, we called it Mischief Night.
I think it's Devil's Night.
Oh, wait. There you go.
It was, Devil's Night. I learned that through The Crow.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I just learned it on American Horror Story, the hotel one. They just did it the other night.
That was the
craziest episode ever.
And
I didn't see it yet.
That's the only episode I've ever seen of the entire series.
Me too.
So I know,
Oh, wow.
I've heard it's great, but I've never got a chance to sit down and watch it and do whatever.
The season's really good.
I heard.
Yeah.
Gaga is really hot.
She's surprisingly hot. I'm going to say it.
I
too.
would let her bite my neck.
Yeah. I
All
would
right,
totally
She
agree.
doesn't bite your neck.
See, but I
She
didn't
cuts
know
her
that.
boob, and then you got to suck the top of her boob to get the blood out.
Even better.
Well,
This just got hot.
Well, there was the one episode where they
Listen,
cut
Fairweather
everyone's
fan.
throats.
I am. I don't watch that.
All right, we'll get into all that stuff in just a bit. Let's go through everything here. Who's here? What's going on tonight? Like I said, I am Erik Nagel. Follow us on Twitter and Twitter. It's Erik Nagel, not Instagram, because that's E-Rock Radio. I'm not getting the other account. Fuck it. I have too many people following. I'm not starting over again.
And now someone's going to buy it and sell it to you.
Oh, I have it. It's
okay.
fine. It's just going to sit there dormant, and no one's going to use it. So we have that. E-Rock Radio, Twitter, and Instagram for me. YouTube, it's Erik Nagel for all our interviews that we've done in the past. You can check that out there. And, of course, each and every show is on SiriusXM On Demand, which you can stream online or through the brand-new SiriusXM app. Okay, I think that's out of the way. Before we get to guests and all that other cool stuff, let's say hi to everyone here in the room. Of course, my co-host, Matt OG. Hello, sir.
Hello, how are you?
Geek Stuff OG on the Twitter and Instagram.
Indeed.
How have you been?
Well, it's been a rough week for my family. I have a 4-year-old who's a dickhead. He's been getting in trouble at school.
All right, we're going to get into that in just a moment. Writing that down. Matt's kid's a dick.
So it's been rough. No, look, he's a good kid, but sometimes he's an overzealous 4-year-old, and so we've been having some behavioral issues.
Is he a young
we'll
Ned
power through
Flanders?
No, I don't think he's that bad.
Okay.
But
I'm Dick
yeah.
Tracy. You're Prune Face. Bam! Now you're dead. Now I'm Prune Tracy, and you're get over here.
Are we going to get back to Mischief Night or Devil's Night? Because I want to do people.
We'll
still
get there
do
in a minute.
things?
Let's
All
say
right,
hi to
all right.
everybody
All
else.
right, say hello.
Jesus.
Hello. Sorry.
So Giddles is over here.
Hey,
Hello,
what's
Giddles.
going on?
How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. Giddle Base on Twitter and Instagram. Follow him as well. There's so
Yeah.
much stuff to follow.
So much stuff to follow.
You're stuck at work, or maybe you're in the car in traffic. Especially if you're in the West Coast, there. Follow these people, follow what they're doing, and then wish you had their lives.
There you go.
You don't wish you had my life. So the picture of like a soda recycling thing that was like a butthole that I post on Instagram.
Yeah,
that was it. That's my contribution to
It was a
society.
step up from the roadkill that you posted the other day when you just wrote roadkill.
Dude, that was a big fucking rat, man. It looked, because it looked like the rat got run over by the steamroller from Austin Powers, and I was just picturing the rat being like, "No," and then the thing just slowly running over it. But it was like that big.
So look for Giddle's Instagram for riveting stuff like
But
that.
You'll find butthole Coke bottles and roadkill.
rats.
I'm so following right now.
Do it, man. That's great.
Moving on, sitting in and returning to the show, Allie Breen,
Hey, guys.
comedian. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Thank you for fitting us into your busy schedule of touring around the country.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to be back in New York.
She was just in Las Vegas. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. And it's not all that it cracks up to be when you're out in Vegas, especially if you're there 1, 2, maybe 5 days too long.
Exactly.
Oh, no.
No one should be there that long.
And also, I invited back, he's been on a couple of times, Emilio is
Hi.
here. Emilio,
Hey.
Pleasure.
for those who don't know, used to intern for Opie and Anthony in the long ago.
Yes.
And he works here at Sirius, and you're working over in the
Shade
music
45, yeah.
I didn't know if you wanted to say it, but
It's
Shade
fine.
45, I was going to say music department. But he works over there at Shade 45, and he's like, yo, I kind of need something new. I got to get into, back into the talk field of everything here.
Things that I like.
Right. So I said, all right, come on. I felt bad. He's always, kind of shucksing outside of the glass.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I
wish could
pressed
come
my
and play.
face up against it, and everyone's like, fine, come on.
It's like the kitten in the box on like a rainy day outside the window. Like, I'll just bring him a can
I
of
was
food.
the opposite of Matt's dickhead kid. I was like completely just last to be picked. Sometimes never picked at all.
This is very sad. It's
All right,
very
now
it's
we're
getting
going to start
dark.
off the show and make Emilio feel better. I got something here. It's Halloween. We're going to be giving away a lot of stuff.
Nice.
I posted a couple of things on Instagram. We've got an exclusive Loot Crate version from Mezco of Chucky, which is kind of awesome for Child's Play fans out there.
Ooh.
Show that to everybody.
Yeah, he's pretty
Does he
badass.
glow in the
Does he
dark?
glow in the
He
dark?
looks
He's kind
like
of
it.
green.
You know what? Doesn't say, but I'm not.
I'm guessing that face glows in the dark. Here.
Usually things
hang
aren't
on.
that color green unless they go in the dark or they're Invader Zim.
It glows in the dark.
There you go.
All right,
There you
didn't
go.
know that. Bonus.
There you go, kids.
So we have that, and we also got a copy, the Blu-ray copy of the original Child's Play to go along with that. We've got Gremlin stuff. We've got
That is the smallest Gremlin action figure I've ever seen. That's not a
thing
micro
is-
machine.
That thing is amazing.
It's hilarious. I want it.
It comes with the chainsaw. It's Spike with the
Yeah.
chainsaw.
Yeah.
And there's the shirt that goes with it from Peltzer's Pets, where he got Gizmo. So we have that in the shirt together. From our friends at Funko, we have the New York Comic Con exclusive that I
Ooh,
know
Cthulhu.
Giddles bought this one.
I did buy the Cthulhu. It's pretty awesome.
Right. It's really heavy too.
It's kind of
I thought it was,
metally.
yeah, I was going to say, is it all metal? But
I haven't
feel
taken it
how
out of the
heavy that
box
is.
yet, but I'm pretty sure it's like a brushed, almost like coppery type material.
yeah, it's got the patina on it.
Yeah.
But it says it's a vinyl figure, so I'm guessing it's just a lot of plastic.
Right. Tons. So we'll have that to give away. We have this from our friends at Subvinyl.
Oh, that thing is
Suburban
awesome.
vinyl, yeah.
You want
It's,
to tell everybody about this?
Yeah, it's The Inner Child. It's a piece by the artist Nervous Wreck, and his artwork is really kind of cool and creepy all at the same time. It's definitely appropriate for Halloween, that's sure. Especially because it's actually a little kid in a costume. If you saw a picture of it, but check out suburbanvinyl.com. Look up Inner Child by Nervous Wreck, and you can see what it looks like.
And that concludes, I think, the treats that we're going to be giving away.
Those are
now,
a lot of goodies.
Yeah.
we also have a pile here that we're not going to talk about for the tricks. So, what's going to happen is this. If you call into the show and we talk to you, Matt had a rough week, so Matt is going to determine whether the caller gets a trick or a treat. So you could get something good, or you could get something not so good.
All right.
And we're not going to tell you what that is until you. I'm assuming a lot of people are going to clear off that pile,
I want to see that pile go.
and some of this good pile going home with Matt.
Matt's like, I want that inner child doll.
Let's plug who's coming on the show here, and then we'll get into our life stories and whatnot. Malcolm-Jamal Warner will be on the show a little bit later. Of course, you know him as Theo from The Cosby Show.
Yep.
Maybe Malcolm and Eddie on UPN.
Oh, God, I forgot about Malcolm and Eddie.
He also did guest stints on All That, Keenan and Kel, and recently was on Key and Peele.
Yes, he
Nice.
was.
Past season, he was on there playing
that's
a
right.
black Republican.
Yes.
Which I'll just leave it at that. But it was very funny. He also does music. He does some. It's almost like Parliament spoken word kind of stuff. Like it's a cross
All right.
of different things, but it's pretty good. So
Cool.
we're going to talk to him about that. Of course, Allie Breen is here. Did you give out your plugs and stuff yet?
No, I didn't.
All right, plug it right now.
It's Breen Screen on Twitter and Allie Breen on Instagram.
I'm going to post some photos of you
Oh,
so
no.
that the people.
There you go.
Something that I don't want posted.
There you go.
Probably.
No, don't worry about it.
spelled your
They're all
name
ones
wrong.
I've taken from your Twitter and your
Hello,
Instagram.
That's when I checked in here. He said, "What's your name?" I'm listed as Aloe.
Like she's
Aloe Breen.
hello, brain.
All right, why not?
Boys, hello.
Okay, we'll do that. We're going to speak to a country
put it in.
group
Yeah.
in about 15 minutes or so called Honey County.
Nice.
Now, there are other parts of the country and
That
maybe
like
even
country.
Canada that we serve that like country music.
Sure.
I do like some country music. I haven't been really up on modern country stuff, but I can always enjoy a good Bubba Shot the Jukebox or now I'm spacing here.
So you're not a Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan kind of guy?
No, I know Roland is. I've heard a lot of the new stuff by Luke Bryan. Don't even tell me Lewis likes country music.
Of course he does.
Country music is one of the most descriptive forms of music still left.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
From Professor Lewis.
For real. I
know.
understand
Like
Luke
the
Bryan and Jason
intellectual
Aldean
answer.
are real poppy, but I do like them. When I lived in Georgia, I basically felt like I was in one of their songs. When I listen to one of their songs, I feel like I'm back in Georgia.
It's one of the last true forms of Americana, my
really
friend.
is.
I'd like to translate all of that. White girls like it.
Yeah, I do.
I do. I like it. I'll speak for the white girls. Do you guys know that song Girl Crush? This song's amazing.
Did you ever go tailgating at a country concert wearing the country boots
I
and the
did
shorts?
not do that. And line dancing and all that stuff. No, I was not that into it, but I like country music.
I went and I stuck out like a bump on a log. I was so enamored with all the girls. They were wearing like little provocative outfits. I'm
Oh,
like, is this
with the
country?
cowboy boots and the little tiny shorts?
Yeah, but meanwhile, they have the worst Jersey accents in the world. And they have, like, highlighted hair and the French tip nails. And like, oh my God, I'm gonna go see Jason Aldean.
You're like,
Did you have the boots as well?
That's
Were you
it.
all dressed up for
There
the
it
get
is.
up, or was it just you crashing this?
I was just crashing this.
Oh, man.
I don't have
I was
nothing,
gonna say, I don't think you have those.
I was wearing
boots.
Jordans.
If you threw on a cowboy hat, you'd be fine. That's all you need as a guy.
Yeah.
Vinny, look at me. I'm line dancing.
Look, where's another Budweiser?
I'm boot scooting boogieing.
Oh, look, it's a horsey, like the cops ride.
Ooh, play The Devil Went Down to Georgia.
This is going off the
I
tracks.
like the Garth Brooks. I heard he's coming back.
Did you know Trisha Yearwood cooks on the cooking channel? I watched that because of her.
I don't like her. She's a home wrecker.
When did this become
Yeah.
coffee time?
Those are the girls,
Talk
though.
amongst yourselves.
I'm telling you, that's how it is.
This song's not very moving.
Oh, it's so moving. Are you kidding? It's great.
No, this is like emotional and like
This is the Adele
This
of
is-
country music.
This
Right,
is
what
the
is
Adele
this?
country
there's
music.
no beat and fun stuff to it.
Bring it down the room.
Play some Luke Bryan, man.
It's moving.
honky
it
tonk
doesn't make you
badonkadonk.
move.
Yes.
Slightly
It's one of my
different.
favorites.
I forgot about it.
You guys got to see me do
What about
karaoke
that
with these country songs.
I want to see you do
I
karaoke
wanna
with
see
every
that
song.
karaoke.
Colorado Cafe in Jersey.
Oh, I know exactly
I
where
go
that
dressed
is.
up, thugged out, and I'll go to the karaoke section. Like, yo,
Could
put
you
on
sing
that Luke
for us
Bryan,
right
yo.
now?
Yeah,
Could
just
you
start.
sing
I could if
for
you
us
wanted
right now?
to.
Do it a
Could you
cappella.
play it again right now and sing it for me?
I don't know that
Luke
one.
Bryan?
What about that Carrie Underwood song that tells all the girls to go crazy when they get cheated on? That's
With
a
the
great
chainsaw.
song. With the chainsaw.
Oh, yeah,
and key the car and
Key
go.
the car and shit?
All that. That's a
Take
great.
this shovel, then bury that body in the back of the truck.
Those are the
Now, see,
lyrics.
that's
a good
old country. That's like Johnny Cash era. That's
Oh, yeah, like a
Merle
shot
That's
Haggard.
good. That's like when I had to kill a man to watch it die, not like I had to kill a 12-pack to watch my friend fall down.
Right. You know where you find that stuff? On Outlaw Country.
Yeah, Outlaw's a great channel.
It's all that, I got drunk, me and my dog went hunting, and I don't have a bitch, that kind of thing.
There's a song called Drunk on a Plane that I get a kick out of, where his girl broke up with him before they got married, and he's drinking on a plane with a picture of her taped to the next seat, and he's like singing about it. It's amazing to me.
That would be a great video.
It's
I wanna
modern
see
day
that.
storytelling at its finest.
Hey
how
man, you can't
planes
hate
work.
on Eric Church either. Another good country artist.
See, I got to get back into it, because once Toby Keith had Red Solo Cup, I was done. I was like, this is garbage. I can't deal with this anymore.
There's
and
guys-
then Blake Shelton, I think last year had a rap song.
Yes, he did.
Oh, I know Roland's gonna kill me because I know he loved it, but that song was just.
Did you like the Tim McGraw Nelly song over and over again?
Dude, that's a classic. You can't
Thank
shit
you
on
very
the
much.
classics.
There you go.
Over and over and over. Then you know where you find that on SiriusXM Fly. Look at us cross promoting.
I just like to say that I'm completely lost right now.
I don't know too much of this.
Really?
This
Eric,
is
what
gonna
about
be me when you
drinking
guys
beer
talk
and
about
wasting
comics.
bullets?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Drinking beer and wasting bullets. It's a song about hunting in the forest.
I would hope so.
You should hear it. It's amazing.
All right, you know what? Pull that up, see if we can get that.
Oh, I
on
got
there.
it ready. Let me know.
Let's hear a little bit of that.
Lewis, can you tweet out like a country playlist of like Lewis's top
great.
hits?
And then someone's going to say, oh, this is racist because that black guy doesn't like all these songs.
Good on you.
This is a
Lewis.
good song.
That really needs
Yeah,
to be
I like
taped
this.
because
I
he
will
had
be down-
the
I will
proud
be down
brow.
with it.
It was great. The expression was amazing.
I feel like if he wasn't wasting bullets, maybe a deer would come near him because he's just firing off bullets and scaring deer away like an asshole.
Isn't that how it's done? You just shoot aimlessly just till you
And
hit
he just
something?
hit something.
Yeah.
Well, some states don't have those laws
Strategy.
where you can't do that.
Oh. Because I
can't
know in Staten
support this
Island they're starting to
reclusive,
arrest deer poachers because apparently now it's like the deer is like special in Staten Island now and you can't kill it.
Unless you hit it with your car.
Deer don't belong in Staten Island.
That's what I'm saying.
Have you been
Yeah.
to Staten Island? They don't belong there.
They nest in
I
the
thought
dump.
there was I thought there was always an overpopulation. You were supposed to kill tons and tons of deer.
That's what I thought, but apparently it's a big gamuria. You can't kill deer in Staten Island now.
Good to know.
If you need some deer, just come by where I am. They're out all the time
Everywhere.
in droves.
Yeah, like where me and Eric grew up, the deer are everywhere. Like you just cannot walk
They
down
were.
the street.
You just would
throw
count
a
them on the side of the highway.
Yeah, you throw
Oh,
a
it sounds
stick at them and they
amazing.
bring it back like fetch. It was like, get out of here.
Sounds like growing up in a Disney movie where there's just fawns drinking from water.
Oh yeah, I like pictures of my mom just like hugging deer every day. I'm like, Mom, stop hugging the deer. You're gonna get ticks.
Little deer puts his lips down to the water.
Yeah. So good.
I'm trying to pull this up here, but of course there's a stupid YouTube ad.
Is this really a song called The Tractor?
Don't even.
Jesus.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to admit this. If I was ever drunk at a karaoke, this is probably the song that I would do because it's a I guess country people think this is a horrible country song, but I love it because of not even for the cheese and the pop factor. I legitimately like this song.
All right.
Truckers and people in the middle of the country,
Here
we
prepare
go.
to cringe.
The truth is, I don't hate it. It's certainly not the worst I've heard.
I don't know how you know it. How do you know this song?
This song's like from 95.
I just saw a
I used to
body.
listen to this all the time.
There was a body contortionist,
You saw that on with Uncle Sam.
and he was feeding her salad.
Yeah.
It's very
This
interesting.
movie's amazing.
I think I saw Isaac from the Love Boat at one point making drinks. So
This is limbo before they choose you to go to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
This is where you write out the time where they pass judgment on
and then
you.
eventually
on the
this
boogie
is
woogie
heaven or
choo-choo
hell,
train.
depending on who.
So is Beetlejuice around then?
That's a fun time.
And of course, in the spirit of selling out, of course, there's a Christmas version of this.
Of course.
With a go
Why
feature
not?
when December comes around. But yeah, it's called Santa Likes to Rock It.
Oh, nice.
Of course he
And it's
does.
all about Santa going around the world, getting liquored up and giving presents to kids on a boogie woogie choo choo sleigh.
The charming story of Christmas.
As long as those deer aren't drunk.
Right.
At the end of the song is just Santa hunting all the deer.
Yeah, he's like sitting there drunk, can't find Rudolph.
Wasting bullets.
Wasting bullets.
Yeah.
Wasting bullets. I'm telling you, Drunk on a Plane might be my all-time favorite.
Speaking of
I heard
wasting
that one.
I just want to get drunk on a plane.
Boogits, whatever. Wasting bullets. I can't see this guy's name here.
I like sweating
You in
bullets, but
California.
that's
What's your
entirely
name?
Eloy?
Oh, it is Eloy. All right. Hi, Eloy. How are you, sir?
Oh, fine. Yourself?
Good. What do you know about silver bullets?
Okay, the bullets that they're wasting are silver bullets. They're drinking beer. But they can't use the brand name in the song.
Oh. That makes more sense.
Oh.
They aren't sitting there on a log just blasting away hoping a deer comes by.
Oh, see, I thought they were getting drunk just shooting shit.
Yeah.
That's what
I kind of like our version better.
Yeah.
It's a more
Well, our
fun
version
day
is
out
certainly
of it.
more exciting.
Okay, so now that the bullets are silver, could we imagine that they're going to kill werewolves?
That's what I was thinking. I immediately thought werewolves.
You lost the
right.
caller.
Well, look,
It's like,
Wasting silver bullets
Do I
under
have to
full
make a
moon.
decision on this one?
Yes. You know what? Eloy in California, since it's Halloween, we're going to figure out if it's a trick or treat here. What is this guy going to get?
Yeah, I'm going with the trick. I'm going with the trick on this one.
All right, Matt, you get to pick from the tricks.
All right.
And what does this gentleman win?
Well, he seems like the kind of guy who wants to sit around on a Sunday afternoon and watch Mr. Peabody and Sherman. So, sir, you are the winner.
I love that movie.
Oh, damn!
it's a win all around.
All right, we're putting you on hold, and
Good
he's
on
going
you,
to
Eloy.
win that.
Silver bullets.
And then he just starts crying when Eric puts him on hold.
Kevin in Houston. Kevin, how are you, sir?
Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, my friend?
The song "Getting Drunk on a Plane" is by Dierks Bentley.
Yes.
That is the artist.
Dirks.
Dirk Bentley.
Yeah, and if you want another reference on the silver bullet, there's a guy named Chris Jansen. He sings a song called "If You Could Buy Me a Boat." If you want to look it up, it's called "Buy Me a Boat."
No, I'm good.
And it's talking about it's talking about buying a boat,
Is he drinking on the boat?
Are you drinking on the boat?
drinking ice cold silver bullets from a Yeti 110. A Yeti 110 is a cooler. A Yeti cooler is, you have to have one if you live in Texas. If you don't,
What?
This guy's like a scholar on country
You are
music.
the redneck whisperer, my friend.
Yeah, seriously.
I need a country to English dictionary is what I need.
This guy has it.
This guy needs like to write a book so when I
Walking
travel to the
version.
south.
Is Jake Owens the pussy rock of the country world?
I guess silver
think we
bullets
lost
always
him.
in commercials too, though. When you think about it, I never. Isn't that
was
the
Coors Light,
Light
right?
silver
Catch the
bullet?
silver bullet.
Catch-
Yeah.
yeah.
But here's the thing: in Smokey and the Bandit, I don't think they had permission because that was way before product, like
Placement.
official product integration.
Yeah.
yeah,
Into
but they were transporting Coors, the banquet beer, not Coors Light.
What's the difference?
One tastes good, one doesn't.
But we technically all we saw was the Coors boxes when they went to Texarkana.
Listen, if
So-
it ain't a Yeti cooler, it ain't shit.
Yeah,
That's what I
right.
learned.
That's the point.
I want a Yeti cooler now.
Fuck this igloo shit. You need a Yeti.
Igloo's New York.
Yeah,
Yeti's
seriously.
the
Yeti's the
South.
There you
South.
I got my Tauntaun cooler. Just cut it open and just stuff people inside.
all right, what is this guy,
What's
Matt?
the temperature
what
of
does
the
this guy
inside
get,
of
Matt?
the Tauntaun? Lukewarm. All right.
Here all week. Try
All right, we'll give him a trick, too.
Okay, he's getting a trick. Kevin, what does Kevin win here?
I'm gonna go with because we have to finally get rid of it. I'm going with The Boy Next Door. Kevin, you win The Boy Next Door.
What's the boy?
I don't even know that movie.
Is that the Jennifer Lopez one?
The Jennifer Lopez.
Oh yeah, it is, baby.
Oh.
Congratulations, sir. You won a Blu-ray DVD digital copy of Jennifer Lopez, The Boy Next Door.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for feigning enthusiasm on that. We'll put you on hold, and Lewis will get your information. Let's go to Scott in D.C. Scott, how are you, sir?
How's it going, Eric and gang? How you guys doing tonight?
Good. How are you, Scott?
I'm doing great. I got a question for you. I haven't been able to listen a lot lately, but what happened? I know you got another job and everything, but are you going to be a part of the morning show anymore, or what?
Yeah, I'm still on there. Not like how I used to be. I'm not sitting on the running the board for Open Everything anymore, but I still am here. I'm helping out. I'll chime in time to time.
I totally like the Stengel brothers, but I swear, man, I need a little E-Rock in my life. You know what I mean?
Well, you're the only one, sir.
Oh, come on.
Friday night, 6 to 9. All the E-Rock you can handle.
There you go. He lives on Twitter.
But for just for saying that, sir, I'm going right to the treat pile.
He gets a treat.
And you get a copy of Avengers Age of Ultron.
Wow. That's a good one.
You guys rock. Have a great evening.
All right,
You
don't
too.
hang up. Let me put you on hold, and we'll get your information. And we'll get back to the calls in just a minute here. Bunch of stuff to talk to. We're going to talk to Honey County, apologies, in just a few minutes. Halloween's coming up around here. What is your kid doing with Halloween, Matthew?
We are actually going trick-or-treating tomorrow, although I don't know what time it actually starts anymore. I feel like...
Well, it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
At 2 p.m.
Can it be early? Because I said it's early. It's a Saturday. They should be able to start early, and people are giving me guff. Like, no, they can't go until like 6 or 7.
Just to be a dick, go at 9. Say
That's
the
it.
stores are open.
That's it.
It's either you or I'm taking them to Target.
Yeah. So, and I'm not doing, by the way, because I'm kind of against this. I get it, but I refuse to do that trunk and treat shit.
Oh,
I'm not
that's so
taking my
weird.
kid to a parking lot where you can get candy from other people's cars.
that's creepy.
That's
It is.
weird.
That's
I don't,
so sketchy.
If,
Yeah,
if
but
he can't get
but
it house to house, he can't get
It's
it at all.
usually organized by the town that you
groups or
live in. Well, sometimes the church groups, but sometimes the towns you live in. I know the town I live in sent a notice out about trunk or treat, and it's an affiliation, I think, with like ambulance exchange and the fire department, things like that.
And it's also like a safety thing, and I get all that, but it's weird. Trick-or-treating is about going to someone's house. It's about ringing the doorbell, seeing what kind of decorations they have.
It's about
Yeah.
almost getting beaten with flour socks and having urine thrown at you and eggs.
Exactly.
And you got to hide in the woods while the bigger kids run past you.
Or like hide in someone's house who you're like
Right,
trick or treating.
yeah.
They'll just like let you in for 2 minutes because it's the purge outside.
But right, because they're throwing pennies at you from the house that is just giving change away.
Yeah, that's it. It's like flee.
Shanking down the toothbrush that nobody wants.
I heard that some places.
Where did you grow up?
Yeah.
All right, it was brutal.
Where I used to live, there was one house. I don't know if the girl was in your grade or not, but there was one house that her parents were dentists.
Yeah.
And they always had a sign on their door saying, we appreciate we can appreciate Halloween just like the next people and everything, but knowing what we do and like this whole big, I'm better than you spiel on there.
The people
Yeah.
who give out floss. Like,
Yeah, that's what it was. It was a little
Apples.
dental kit. There was a toothbrush, those Colgate samples, and maybe
like,
floss or
like
something
a floss,
like that.
like maybe a crayon, the little smiling tooth magnet. Like,
Didn't their
ugh.
house get destroyed
Well,
every Halloween?
this is the point. So then you'd come by later, right before it starts getting dark, around 6 o'clock.
Pee in their ficus.
No, you would see the toothbrushes all up in the roof and the gutters, toothpaste smeared on their car windows, and anyone who stupidly, I saw this 1 year and only 1 year. I would love to see it again. You know how some people can't be home to do trick-or-treating, so they put the bowl out as the honor system, and that first, maybe second group wipe it out, right?
Yeah.
Somebody did it with pennies, and they put a bowl out there of pennies. It's like one handful. Unlike toothpaste, you're going to take a whole bowl of pennies because it'll translate into other money.
Of course.
But
And
then
a
you
good
get
weapon.
the kids who don't give a shit about money, and they're taking handfuls, and they're throwing it at other kids, almost like buckshots. So they'd be running up around the corner, hey, there's a kid without a mask. pennies all in the face, and while you're sitting there crying, they're taking your candy and kicking you.
You threw the pennies, didn't you?
Huh?
You threw the pennies.
No, I took the bowl and went home. I rolled that shit up like a responsible young man.
He had treats to buy.
I did.
Dude, and shanking toothpaste.
Okay. I heard some of those neighborhoods have like a no nut policy. They're trying to get people to. Yeah, I was like, they're killing it. They're killing Halloween.
Yeah, there was some. I can't remember where the news story was, but there was something about that where some school district sent a notice out to parents to say to be responsible parents this holiday season. Do not put out treats that have peanuts, gluten, a couple other things, and then had a list of suggestive treats that were safe and fun, I think were the words used for giving out to kids.
I would shit on the doorsteps of the administrators that put out that sign because Halloween is about peanut butter cups, and if I don't get a peanut butter cup, I'm going to stab somebody.
Okay, but speaking from someone who has severe food allergies, I would die. So
now knowing that, you're the kid that we knocked down and smeared the peanut butter cups on your face.
Here's the thing. You give me your Snickers, I'll give you my fucking raisins.
There you go. All right. I was always with the trading as a kid. I was like, hey,
I'm down to trade.
Okay,
you can have my Biddo honey.
Thank you.
Some guy Biddo honey and Mary Jane.
Here's my squirrel nut zipper. Can I get your good candy, please?
This brick of caramel. My teeth are gone.
And that's why you had to go back to the dentist neighborhood and be like, listen.
No, that's when you go back and realize that it came from Emilio's house, and you chase him down, and you pin him with your knees on his shoulders, and then you're smearing peanut butter in his face.
Or just throwing me with pennies.
Don't lay a finger on my Butterfinger, Emilio.
It was so much easier when all we had to worry about were razor blades and the apples.
What happened? Where did that come from? Was that a real thing? Or was
that's been around since like the 70s.
How would you put a razor blade in
and no one sees it?
No one would know. That's just a lie.
That takes skill. You have to go to the tree while the apple's growing, like put it in there and be like, you know what, at the end of the year, that thing is going to heal around there, and then I'm going to find that one apple.
You're overthinking.
Yeah, how do you do that?
You just buy a bundle. No, I'm not telling you how to do it.
Razor blades are expensive. I wish I could get that.
When I was in elementary school, one year they had. It was the same year Dare came out, so I'm dating myself. I think it's like 88.
Yeah,
right?
It's probably around time Dare.
So the elementary schools, how many were in our system? It was like 6 elementary schools, right, in our system? Yeah. They had a thing where the police had X-ray things set up at the school, so you could bring your children's candy to have it scanned for needles and reds once. And then but I don't think anyone went to it, and they said, we'll take the risk.
Yeah. Did anybody ever find anything? That's what I want to know.
No. You never hear of some kid biting in and choking on a needle or glass or any of that stuff.
People are like, I got to watch out because everyone says, there's going to be all this drugs and candy, and I'm like, where? Like, please show me this house, because drugs are expensive and no one's going to waste them on kids.
Where are the good baby Ruths?
Yeah, seriously. Like,
why does it sound like more than Butterfingers? Why does it sound like at the beginning of a 21 Jump Street episode?
It's an after-school special waiting to happen.
Crazy.
Get the pumpkin. We got to go.
It's Degrassi at its finest.
Yeah, Degrassi.
Which Degrassi, though?
Drake.
The
Thank you.
years.
It's Drake.
The Manny Santos Degrassi?
That's it.
She was so hot, too.
Shoot him and get him in the wheelchair.
Ouch.
All right.
That was harsh.
But one thing I want to do, before we get to Honey County, one thing that was brand new to me this year, Tuesday night, all of a sudden, it's about 9:45, doorbell rings, banging on the door, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I get up and go, and there's nobody there, right? So I'm like, who's still doing Ring and Run, right?
Nice.
So I look down, and there's a package there, right?
Shit.
And I called the shit poo, and as I'm stamping on it, no, that's that Billy Madison thing. There's a package there, but it's wrapped up. So I pick it up, I'm like, what is this? And it just said, you've just been spooked, right? So I open it up, and it's something for my dog.
Right.
And we find out the next day that apparently the schools are trying to do this thing where the week leading up to Halloween, they encourage the kids to do this and leave little gifts to people in the neighborhood to try to do like a positive thing for the community or whatever. And I guess somebody did it for all the people who had dogs on my block.
Right.
Did that. So these kids now have another bullshit assignment where you're supposed to pay it forward in some weird way and do the Ring and Run and leave a gift to reward the people for coming to the door.
But it's just going to confuse people.
I think it's kind of cool in a weird way. But in the age of if you see something, say something. If there's a suspicious package, call somebody. Yeah. How are you going around leaving suspicious packages on people's doorsteps.
Especially when it says you've just been spoofed.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Like, I'm not taking that into my house. I'm calling somebody and being like, you come and take that from my doorstep.
It's ballsy by Erik to even open the package.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Erik even opened the door.
Yeah.
Hello? And then, the guy in the scream mask is running behind me and I don't see it.
Tell us where you are,
But
Josh.
I've never heard of that before,
I've
that
never
they're
heard
doing
of
this
that either.
spook thing.
You better give these kids good candy for
That's what
being...
it is.
I think that's a threat. I think it's a threat, yeah.
Oh, I smartened up. I went and bought all the stuff I would never eat, and that's what I know the kids like.
Now, let me ask you...
And none of that no frills shit either. This is all name brand.
Nothing that just says
full
chocolate
size.
Hershey bars,
Full size.
Bunch of big Laffy Taffies and bags of Jolly Ranchers.
There you go.
Since you're not eating sugar right now, is the temptation even that much more real?
No, not at all.
All right,
Not
good.
really. Maybe Jolly Ranchers, I'll say that, but everything else, no.
But you're not a big chocolate guy anyway.
No, I never.
Yeah.
In fact, I figured out, I think I told you the story. I traced back finally where it was in my life that made me hate chocolate and candy. And it was something to do with eating an entire, you know what Rolos are?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right. It comes in a bar form, but they're individual little cups that's just caramel with chocolate around it.
Yeah.
And something to do with either my older brother and sister and making me eat the entire stack of Rolos. And for some reason, that just hit my head like in the last week or two. And I go, I think that's what it was. Because I used to like Charleston Chews.
Sure.
My mom would eat the dark chocolate Hershey bars.
Those are good.
Right, with almonds and stuff.
Yeah.
And I used to like that too. And I think that's where my cutoff point, when I got so sick of it, I was like, never again.
The great Rolo episode.
Yeah, I need
Right.
someone to do that to me.
All right. Get some chocolate and start punching
Bring
it
it,
into her
of
mouth.
course, anyone volunteer.
You're going to smoke this whole pack of cigarettes and eat these Rolos, kid.
That's what I was just thinking of.
I'll teach you what's good for you. Is it chocolate and cigarettes that are good for me? No, it's not. Don't ever do those again.
When did you turn into Mick from Rocky?
I don't know. It just happened.
Eat the Rolos, kid.
Eat it, kid.
You're a
can't do
bum.
it.
Eat them.
If you can catch this Rolo, you can catch a Rolo.
I don't know if I can eat the Rolo, though, Mick.
Hey, eat it.
All right, we got to get to Honey County. So
All right,
while
we
I
go full
get,
Rocky
we're
here.
going to try the Skype thing today.
All right.
So while we do that and get that ready, I did say also I had something to kind of cheer Emilio up.
Sure.
So I got something from here.
Oh, my God.
Do you like
Nice.
that?
Oh, my God. I love her, so yes.
Okay, you can tell everybody what that is
Oh,
while I
all
get
right.
them on.
It is a elite collection from WWE. It is the Anti-Diva page.
Ooh.
And I think if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram, @Emilio Sparks, you will see that I have a creepy obsession with this girl. So when she's on WWE programming, I will take a picture of my TV and I will tweet about how much I'm in love with her and want to lick the roof of her mouth. And it's really, really sad. But I love this. This is amazing. I appreciate
That's
this.
terribly creepy.
Feel free to tweet that out.
I'm
and,
going to.
Thank me immensely for that.
I'm going to. You might
Okay.
get a hug, too.
All
I
right.
know.
I'm
His
hoping
response
it
is
does.
like as if he got jewelry. He's so
Look, it has
creepy.
2 belts, too. Oh, this is great.
I think
It's
Emilio's
cute, really.
Halloween is made.
It is.
Wait, she was at SuperCon. That's right?
Right, we met her down in Miami.
Yeah, that's right. I met her
She was
quickly. She's like, "Who are
backstage-
you?" And then she was just like, "Oh, get the fuck out of my way." I was like, "All right."
She was backstage as we were finishing up speaking with Emily DeRaven
Yep.
from Lost.
Yep, that's what it was.
I had a
Because they were
moment
coming on next.
with her backstage at WrestleMania this
You did?
year. Yeah. And
Does she know about
Were
it?
the cops involved?
yeah, no, yeah, she does, because I got introduced to her real quick, and I said, we, like, real quick, exchanged pleasantries, and then I was like, you're dating someone right now, and I know that. But one day,
And then she went security.
No, I told her this. I looked at her sternly, and I said, we will make out one day. I go, it will happen.
Security!
I'm creeped out.
She laughed and said, let's take a selfie together, and we did.
And then Kane
So I
walked
can
out
remember
and
your face.
slammed him through the stage.
Creepy guy with man bun.
This is going nowhere good.
It's going everywhere.
No, but enjoy that. Let's
Thank
go
you very
somewhere
much,
good
man. Oh,
and speak
man.
to the ladies of Honey County. You there?
We're here.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you doing?
So it's a little weird because let me just give the audience and you guys here in the studio a quick update. So we had Skype and everything all set up and patched in through the studio and was going really well. For some reason last week, the computer that it runs through just completely burnt out one night. So they replaced everything. And like a lot of the tech stuff here, it's never done to the specifications that you require. And then it's always multiple emails of filing another ticket to have them come down and replace one thing. I'm like, you still have 4 more things. Oh, you got to make another. It just takes forever. So they're patched in. I don't know if it's as good as it can be, but we'll make good with it. They're hearing us through the webcam instead of hearing it right off the board.
Okay.
Hopefully it won't affect the radio broadcast, but we're pioneering this shit, Matt.
There you go.
And we're going to plow through it.
Huzzah.
Hello, ladies. How are you?
We're good.
What an intro, right? So, how about you introduce yourselves to the United States and Canada and tell everybody who Honey County is? Okay.
Uh-oh.
Can they not hear us?
Good.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, hi, I'm Tiffany. Leanne's with me. Say hi, Leanne. Hi. And Devin's over here on my left. Hi. We're Honey County. We're a female trio. We're based in Los Angeles and Nashville, and we play pop country music.
And Danny also does a lot of other projects on I don't want to say like on the side, like she's cheating on the band, but she needs to work, and she does other interesting projects. She just did something for The Descendants with Disney, right?
I did.
What did you do?
I sure did. I was singing backup vocals on a lot of the tracks on the soundtrack that went #1 on Billboard, my first #1. Pretty excited.
Congrats.
And I also did some replacement vocals for the lead.
Oh.
For some of the lead characters. Yeah.
So
very cool.
How long have you guys been doing this as a group here?
We've been together for about 2 years. Devin is our newest member.
This is too good to be true.
It was. It was going so smooth.
They said Skype was going to work. Everything's good. You just have to do the audio through the camera, and everything's fine. Boo! Engineering.
Boo earns.
No, I'm not saying boo earns. I'm saying boo. It's how do you have a fucking internet connection in a corporation that is all like, hardlined everything, and you still have rendering issues?
Professional, Eric. Professional.
Not very much. Oh, I think they're back there. Are you there?
Not true anymore?
There you go.
Okay. We can see you. I can see you, Matt. Yeah.
Hello. Hello.
You're looking at the attractive people.
Now.
Now, Danny reached out to me a long time ago. She apparently listens to the show, and I said, bravo, Sierra. She does not. And she assured me that she does, and she said she likes the show, and you guys are really funny. And I said, again, not calling bullshit, because that doesn't mean anything. But got to talk to her for a little while, and turns out she does like this show, which I do appreciate. They're an upcoming country group. They were doing stuff with a country station out in L.A., and then what was it that I was reading that you were doing with SiriusXM the Highway?
Highway.
So we had heard about a contest on SiriusXM, the Highway, to open up for Brett Eldridge, who's a big country star, and we just heard about the contest on the station. Otherwise, we wouldn't have known about it. At the time, our single, 99 Bottles, was coming out,
99
and
Bottles.
I said, what the heck, I'm going to submit it. So I ended up submitting it to 2 different contests. One was the one that we heard about through SiriusXM, the Highway. Jessica Wade actually was talking about it. She's awesome. I think she works in your building, right? She does the Today Show too. And I heard her talk about it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to submit this. And I submitted 99 Bottles for that. And then also another contest, Country 105, the large market country station in LA. And simultaneously, the song was chosen as a semifinalist for both contests within the same week. And it was crazy because in order to win, if you win the contest to open for Brett Eldridge, you would have to be flown to Idaho. But it was the same day if you were picked as a semifinalist to perform at Knott's Berry Farm for Go Country 105 in LA. And we had to kind of make the decision, what are we going to do? And ultimately, we were like, well, we're in LA right now. Let's do the Go Country 105 show. So we ended up going to Knott's Berry Farm and knocking it out of the park.
That's awesome. I mean, I guess that's a good spot to be in if you have to pick between, which one you want to do. 2 winning spots is not a bad spot.
It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But we had a lot of fun submitting to the contest, and it was kind of cool to go around and be like, where's some of my finalists? And like both things we entered. Had a good time.
Very, very cool. Very cool.
So the big single off, well, they just got the EP out now, not too long ago, right?
Yep.
All right, so they finally got the EP together. They had a whole bunch of songs, and I guess the one they've been shopping around is called 99 Bottles, but a bitch ain't one. And that's not the song. It's just 99 bottles.
I was like, that's a great name.
That's a great name. I'm totally down.
So,
it was a catchy.
The what?
A catchy time. It hasn't been done before, so you know.
No, I've heard 99 red balloons, but I've never heard 99 bottles, so you are groundbreaking, my dear. Great hair, by the way. I love it.
That man bun is awesome.
I love you. I love you. Thank you.
Why don't you come up a little closer? It's visual just for them. It doesn't do anything on radio. Show them your man bun.
because he's hugging the Page figure still.
Yeah,
it's really creepy.
having a moment.
He's hugging this action figure.
I got a toy
Classic
because
Eric.
I'm 32 and I like toys. And Eric just got me the greatest toy in the world, so I'm super appreciative about this right now.
You will remember me forever.
I will.
So tell us about 99 Bottles.
It's a song about beer.
We like beer. Beer is good.
None of that IPA shit, right? It's like straight Americana beer, right? Like
Silver bullets.
silver bullets. Tie back.
It's like Blue Moon. I think there's a part in it where I rap beers, and I'm pretty sure it's like for you.
Could you
Blue
give us-
Moon, Bud Light, Tall Boy, Friday Night.
There we go.
That's pretty much
What is
it
with country music rapping now? Is that the last kind of merging genres that country music has to rap
Well,
now?
think about it. Both genres involve guns. Right, drinking.
Right.
I
Wow,
mean,
man.
I'm
Wow.
just saying there's
Wow.
a crossover
There's a
audience.
similarity.
There's a crossover audience. Cowboy hats too. Both genres involve
Cars,
cowboy.
clothes,
No?
guns, women.
See, that's what I'm screaming.
The only thing that's different is the race. Everything else they sing about is perfectly in sync with each other.
There
Well,
you
and the
go.
cars. One's like pickup trucks, and the other's like.
Instead of bitches and hoes, it's deers and
All right, so
I got spinners on my
Yeti
wagon.
coolers.
So we'll never see twerking in your music videos, I assume. Then.
Actually,
Here we go. This is where it gets good now.
What if you did a country version of
Leanne is going to twerk for y'all.
I like the way you twerk it, no diggity.
Wow. Yeah.
This is going downhill.
Way to go, Eric.
I want to see it happen.
Well, the Dixie Chicks never twerk, so you guys can go right there. Like, there's a whole new market for this now. So
Oh, Jesus.
Totally. I like the way you think.
I'm a fan of yours, girl. I like your style.
So tell me about touring and stuff. You guys are out there, you're pretty much doing everything yourself right now. You're not under an official label, right?
No, we're not.
But do you have distribution, or is that self-promoting too?
Self-promoting, and we do pretty well.
So what's touring like then? There's people out there who have bands and they're recording all their stuff because technology's out there. You can pretty much do everything yourself nowadays, and putting everything out there digitally so you can get a larger audience than trying to have to hard press stuff and take it to fairs and hopefully opening up for somebody. But what do you guys do to go out on the road and promote this stuff?
We just recently did a festival this past weekend in Idlewild up in the mountains in California. And we headlined that festival, and it was so awesome. I mean, do you want to talk about it?
It was. No.
It was a lot. We had a good time. We stayed in this awesome cabin. The festival, I mean, usually when you're touring, people are so excited to have you that they want to help you. And the people that put on this festival, Randall Harris, he got us a cabin, like, at the Rainbow Inn. It was awesome.
Sorry.
And then, they put us up, they feed us, we get to play with the animals.
That's awesome.
Perks.
It was really
While they're
fun.
supposed to be performing on stage.
Dude, playing with the
They're
animals
feeding
is pretty
animals,
sweet.
they're picking
Yeah,
pumpkins. It's like,
It's
did you
like
finish
that.
the song?
Like the band, the animals, or actual animals?
I think the band, the animals, most of them are dead, aren't they?
The House of the Rising Sun? Oh, that's a great song.
I think touring, we have a really good time because people are really sweet to us. It's 3 girls. So when we show up, everyone wants to, be as accommodating as possible. And Leanne.
So what she's saying is if like the 3 or 4 of us rolled up, you excluded, of course, Allie, they would give us no help whatsoever. Look at these jokes.
Don't expect any good treatment if you guys go on tour.
Bunch of bearded goons.
Yeah, they're going to give us some beard oil. Be like, here you go. Here's some beard oil and like axes. Cut down some trees.
Some beard billies just shooting aimlessly with silver bullets. Okay, so what separates you guys from the other females that are out within country music? How do you guys differentiate from your sound to what you hear on a more mainstream level?
I think one of the things that really differentiates us is this star performer over here, Devin. Her guitar playing. I've never heard a female guitar player, or even a male guitar player for that matter, have the kind of sensibility, tonality, and just like incredible talent that she has. No, it's the truth. When we were trying to figure out the next steps to get a female guitar player, because the band's a trio, we were looking at a couple different girls, and Devin I didn't even meet her, and I knew that she was the one. If she wanted to, be in the band with us, that is. And it was incredible. I mean, just watching her on stage, it's like a force. It's incredible. So it's really fun. And Leanne, over here next to me, I met her and she was singing harmonies with a friend of mine, and she's the voice of an angel. She picks up harmonies so fast. Like she's like a freak of nature. Yeah. And she knows. And, we have a really good time writing together and singing together and playing together. And I think maybe what separates us or I know what separates us is our live performance. I mean, come to a show, see us on stage, and you'll be part of the band, part of the experience. Every song is a different story, and every story makes you feel a different emotion. And when you feel something, that's when you know music is real. So we're the real deal.
What if you just, as a goof, you did the next EP and every song is exactly the same? Like the story is exactly the same, just the music's different. Or is that a waste of time?
Do you want to write that with us? We can do it.
That would take too much effort on my part. Words are hard.
Words are hard. Well,
for you, Eric.
But we're trying to. Yeah, I was going to say you talk for a living. We're trying to take it to the next level. We're trying to,
writing
spread
words
our
are
wings
hard.
And fly.
Speaking words is impossible.
Okay.
You do stumble a lot.
I do not. Me fail English. That's impossible.
Exactly.
Right.
So California is where you girls originated from, or no? Are you girls from different parts of the country?
We're from different parts of the country. I'm from Virginia.
Yeah.
But how much?
I'm from Arizona.
How much?
And I'm from California.
No.
But how much country credit do you get saying that you're from Los Angeles?
Yeah, that's
though?
what I was going to ask.
Don't you have to go to Nashville in order to be credible in the country music genre?
I've seen the TV show. You have to.
Just in Los Angeles, we're based both coasts.
You're fancy.
But I think in modern times, Eric, because of the way the world is and with social media and online, you could be anywhere, do any kind of music or any kind of genre or any kind of art, really. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. And it'll resonate with the people who want to appreciate that kind of music.
Right, but I think because country has just this persona, this mystique around it, this perception that you need to be either from the South or the middle of the country in order to be legit country. So if you're coming from Seattle or Philadelphia and you're a country singer, there's all right, there's some guy who's trying to do country, but he's not Kenny Chesney or Toby Keith or something like that, where they're coming from the areas that they're singing about.
What I'm saying is, personally, I think that mystique has kind of faded a little bit, and I think it's just changed. I think it just doesn't matter as much anymore. I don't think the first thing you look up when you find out a band that you like is where are they from? Oh, they're not from there. Fuck them. That's not what you do, right? It's I like this music and it's cool. I don't care where they're from.
But I will say this though, California and country, I didn't know the two were bedfellows. How is the country scene in Los Angeles?
Well, I don't know. They had the Brooklyn Country Festival a month and a half ago, the New York one. It was 2 days.
But again, Brooklyn Country Festival, everyone just thinks, it's hipsters trying to do something.
That's what it was.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we just did a show in Long Beach. Okay.
Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
And we were on stage at Uh-oh. Are you okay? Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, try it now.
Try again. Sorry, we lost you there.
You were in Long Beach and you were on stage.
You're good now.
You're on stage. People knew the words to our songs, and they were jumping up and down like it was a Limp Bizkit concert.
That's awesome.
Wow.
That's a reference.
Was there a mosh pit?
It was crazy. Yes, I will send you the video. It was
dancers. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. People were line dancing, and there was a mosh pit, and it was nuts.
That's what I'm saying. I think that like it's cliche,
I hope
but the
people
world
had
has
Spurs
shrunk.
on,
Yeah, right.
just swinging and kicking.
So how do people find? Is
Windmill
that from
kicking
like
with Spurs.
Spotify now that people know your stuff more, or is it from the radio? How do people know your stuff? Like, what's the best way to get your music out there now?
Thank you for asking that question.
Sure.
We first kind of got known in the scene. We had a song called "Blood from a Stone" in the season finale of True Blood. And
big.
we wrote it with some really great writers out here, Gary Calamar, Jay Rowe, and James Holmes. And we were fortunate enough to have it in the season finale. And then it started spinning on KCRW. And people just started to take note of who we were because radio play, I mean, everybody listens to the radio. And from that, we started to put out, our own music. We released an EP. People watched the music video for 99 Bottles, and they just started to know us because they knew us from our first song, our first release.
Nice.
So there you go. See, that's what I'm telling you. It doesn't matter where you're from, as long as the music is good and it connects with somebody. As long as it can get out there, then you're all right.
Well, let's see if the music is good, because I see one of them is sitting there with a guitar, and unless she's going to pull a honky-tonk man move, I would like to see what you guys could play for us.
El Kabong.
Okay, we're going to play a song that we all wrote together. It's brand new, so no one's heard it except for y'all and everyone's listening.
That's exclusive.
It's called High Wire. Now all I want is to on the ground. I
was in the groove, too, man. I was in the groove.
Yeah, we got to... I feel bad. We got to kind of pull it off on that there, because this thing's not working.
Yeah.
All right.
That was awesome, though.
That was really good.
I'm totally into that.
Lewis would totally sing that at karaoke.
He would
totally
sing that.
He would definitely sing that at karaoke there.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, I know. The thing just keeps kind of... See, there
Damn
they
you
are.
Corporate peoples.
It was a
Did it come through okay?
Yeah, it did, and then, of course, the feed craps out. So they still have a lot of work here left to do with dedicating that line and fixing everything else. But that being said,
awesome.
it was a very good song. I do appreciate you, trying this experiment out with us here and playing. I do have your song 99 Bottles, the recorded version, that we're going to play to break here for them. And you can go and get their EP out on iTunes. Also go to honeycounty.com, at Honey County on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find the individual Twitter and Instagrams for the ladies in that band there, for Danny, for Leanne, and for Devin.
Awesome.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's great. Thanks for having us.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
And if you find yourselves in New York, you should come by and do some live stuff with us. That would be awesome in the studio.
Lewis, do you have it, or you want me to play it?
Yeah, we
All right, I'll let Lewis play it there. Lewis, the song is called 99 Bottles. It's by Honey County. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. Again, when you come back, when you come to New York City, please come in and sit in with us and maybe perform live.
Thank you. We will.
Thanks so much.
Bye, Eric.
Thank you.
Guys.
Mwah.
All right, Lewis, hit that. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
Nice.
Microphone check 1, 2.
Your voice is so much bassier than mine. You should be doing this job. Ladies and gentlemen, you know my guests from shows like The Cosby Show and Malcolm and Eddie. Also, All That, Keenan and Kel, a whole bunch of other appearances.
Right.
But what you may or may not know is this man does some amazing music, and we're going to get into that in just a second. Please welcome Malcolm-Jamal Warner. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Eric?
I got to tell you, I'm a little thrown off right now because I grew up with you, man. I grew up watching you, especially being from New York during the time.
Sure,
and watching
man.
everything.
Yeah.
So I got to relate to a lot of what was going on, the times.
Yeah.
When you were living in Brooklyn, I was out in Long Island. So a little bit different, but still New York nonetheless.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. And then we shot in Long Island City, so you know we got a little closer.
Just by name, because I think that's technically Queens.
Yeah, it is.
I want to start off with something, and if you just trust me for a second, you'll see where I'm going here. Watched a whole bunch of other interviews that you've done, and I know a lot of places and outlets have focused more on recent events with Bill. I did notice, though, that a lot of the times they weren't really focusing on your music, and it didn't. Some of these interviews didn't become about that. They were focusing on what was going on with Mr. Cosby. I want to start off this interview right now with going right into the music and go with that first, and then go into all the other stuff, Cosby Show and all that, and all the fun stuff there.
There you go. I appreciate the support of buttering me up and getting me to feel comfortable before we talk about Cosby.
Theo likes me. Let's start off with the band here. It's Miles Long.
Yes.
Now, from what I understand, you're saying the title reflects, I guess, your journey coming from where you grew up in Jersey City and acting and all this stuff to where you are now. It's reflecting the journey that you were on.
Well, it's actually reflecting specifically my music journey.
Okay.
You know, I've come a long way musically, but I have a long way to go. Kind of deal. So I actually started, you know, as growing up and as part of the hip hop generation, Miles Long was actually the name of my first rap group.
Wow.
In like 89.
Is that available anywhere? Or are those tapes buried forever?
Fortunately, they're not available anywhere. And what's so funny is back then, you know, I'm like 19, 20, and, you know, our whole concept was, man, you know what? We're so far ahead of all these other, you know, rappers. You know, the distance is miles long because we're just so far ahead and so deep. That was at 1920, and then when I actually started studying, when I picked up an instrument and started and committed to studying the language of music at 26, 27, I kept the name Miles Long, but made that represent my musical journey.
You have some great ex-girlfriends, because I'm sure they have cassettes of these things and they're not revealing it at all. We're not putting Malcolm's music out there.
Look, my mom and my dad are best friends, and they've been separated since I was 3 years old. So I learned from my dad, keep your exes close to you.
One of these days I'm going to find this, because I would just love to hear. I mean, look at Will Smith's early stuff before he was Fresh Prince, the demos and everything.
Yeah.
He looks back and laughs at it now, but you can't find it anywhere. But when it was available at one point, everyone's got to start somewhere, you know, and as goofy or as corny as it may sound, dated for the time that they're doing it, was serious to them, and that laid a foundation to build other things and better things like that.
And actually, when I go back and I think about those demos as a rapper, it was always, the stuff was still very conscious. And so I think that theme has kind of carried on into, me as an adult and as a spoken word artist. You know, there's, consciousness to my work. There's always, what I've realized, recurring themes about self-love, self-accountability, self-responsibility. So I think I've always been from a place of, if you're going to write, you know, make it be of substance.
Right.
I think my father instilled that in me.
Growing up the way you did and where you did, being on the Cosby Show, there was a lot of musicians that were guest appearing on the show, legends.
Sure.
Of course, Bill's love for jazz. So you had all that stuff around there.
Sure.
Was that an influence for you to go into music, or did you already have that?
Yeah, you know, so just back up for a second. So when I mentioned my father instilling that in me, I meant my real father.
No, I know. I'm just saying. You were lucky enough to be exposed, being on that show, to some of these legendary musicians. Did that influence where you wanted to go, or did you already know that, like, I kind of want to do music?
It reaffirmed, you know, my interest in music, and that my father. So people think my middle name is Jamal. My first name is Malcolm-Jamal. My father.
There's a hyphen in there.
Yeah. My father named me after Malcolm X and Ahmad Jamal, the renowned jazz pianist.
Oh, pianist.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Because my father wanted me to be a jazz musician. When I was a baby, he would put me in my sitter and sit me right in front of the speaker and play soft jazz, because he wanted me to have an appreciation for music. My mother thought that was so stupid, but you know, my dad had a plan. So when I finally picked up an instrument at 26, my dad was elated. It's like, finally, it's taken him 26 years, but now he's gonna play music.
It's like, why couldn't you do that as a teenager? You could have picked
Tito Puente's brain and got some tips, you know?
Right. And it's funny because starting my musicianship at such a late age, I have those same thoughts like, why didn't I start this 20 years ago? I could have been so much further ahead.
But you got there. That's the important point.
Yeah. I'm here. But it's a constant challenge, man, because I tell people all the time, it takes so much time, energy, focus, and discipline just to be an okay musician. So cats who are phenomenal, I really respect their level of musicianship because I get what goes into that.
I got a chance to check out your first two albums, and the third one, let's plug that right now so we can get that. Selfless, it came out on September 18th. Is it hard copy? Or is it, because I saw it online as far as iTunes and Amazon and stuff like that.
iTunes or my website, malcolmjamalwarner.com.
Can you buy the actual CD? Is it all digital?
It's mostly digital.
Okay.
I ended up printing up some physical copies because I was here in New York at the Circle of Sisters event at the Jacob Javison this weekend. So I had a couple of booths and I brought CDs there so I can actually sell and sign.
The music itself, I can see a lot of influence from different spots with what you guys are doing. There's some funk, some soul. You got the spoken word kind of vibe with it. Yeah. I'm sensing a little. Was George Clinton Parliament? Was that an influence on you at all?
Well, I mean, it's hard to be into funk and R&B and not be influenced.
Because I sense something. I noticed it actually more on the slower stuff. Than you do on the faster stuff. A lot of people associate the Clinton Parliament Funkadelic stuff with the faster, bop gun, that kind of stuff. Yeah. But on the slower stuff, what you were doing for getting the groove, the vibe kind of thing, I noticed a lot of ties to that.
Yeah, very, very perceptive.
Also, I want to point out your first album, which I have a little bit of beef with you. The cover, or actually, maybe it's not the first album, it's the mixtape cover. Okay? Yes. I really aggravated with your photo where you're leaning back and I'll paint the picture for everybody. You have a white shirt on and you're just kind of leaning back like a oh well shrug, but you're laughing. Your shirt's busted open. You've got an amazing build on you and you're laughing like, oh, my shirt popped off again. This happens all the time. And they caught you in mid laugh like, oh, this is so silly.
Right.
I'm like, oh, I hate his abs. I really hate his abs. I wish I could look like that.
Well, you know what? I wish I could look like that too, Eric. That was 15 years ago, so I'm still struggling to get back to that.
Well, I'll say this: at least you had that to look back in your life. You can say at one point, Dad looked like this.
I've got pictures to show it, right?
But
well, I need something to offset the awkward teenage images that I can't get rid of those.
Your dad was Theo, but here's when he was Lenny Kravitz. Look at him right here. So tell me about the third album, Selfless. Here.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about this record because I've got some great collaborations on it. Stokely Williams from In Condition, Layla Hathaway, Robert Glasper, Rasan Patterson, and Lettucey. So I've got some really cool people who have come on to collaborate with me. This record really represents where I am now at 45 years old. Just in terms of just where I am in love. And just where I am in, just where I am in terms of being at a point in life where I'm finally comfortable enough in my own skin not to be ruled by other opinions of me and what people think of me.
Okay.
Which is, that's an odd place for an artist to be because you want to be in a place where you don't care what people think about you, but the success of your art greatly depends on what people think about you.
And eventually dictates your personality, your writing style.
You try not, it influences. I'd say influence rather than dictate because at some point you have to, be clear for yourself and make a stand for yourself, what you're going to stand for and what your boundaries are. And sometimes, there may be some public opinion that may not gel with that, but at the end of the day, you have to go with, what your soul tells you.
Being a 44 at this point of your life, how does it feel going out on the road and touring as opposed to doing it at a younger age?
Great, because I think I'm a better musician.
Right.
And
how's the wear and tear on you, though?
I don't do, I don't have a tour budget, like tour support. So it's not like I'm on the road for weeks at a time.
Right.
A lot of my gigging, they're one-offs, especially if I'm going out of town. They're generally one-offs. It's still my dream to like go on a 6-week tour, just being able to play every night. Like I think what that would do for my musicianship, I think would be incredible.
Plus you have a bus to sleep on.
Yeah.
Which makes it a lot better when you're traveling.
But it's got to be really comfortable bus,
right?
You know?
And the no crunch rule.
What's that?
I mean, every band always has that rule on the bus that you're not allowed to go to the bathroom.
No crunch rule. I love it.
On that, yes, you have to wait till we get to the gas station.
There you go. Yeah, I'm all about that.
Is there no official website? I found a Facebook for the band. It's me, Miles Long Music on Facebook.
Right.
Is there an official like .com or anything for that?
It would be Malcolm-Jamal-Warner.com.
Off your site.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because so what Miles Long is, I kind of got the concept from KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions.
Nice.
So it's really KRS-One and his crew, or Arrested Development. It's really Speech and, crew of cast that he put together. So Miles Long is really, a collection of artists, other musicians, other poets, other writers. So I use Miles Long because I do have a crew of people, but when it really comes down to a lot of the writing and the songs themselves, it's just generally me and a couple of cats I write with.
All right. Go to Miles Long Music on Facebook, but of course it's on iTunes and MalcolmJamalWarner.com.
Yes.
You can buy all that stuff. Now, can we go to some of the fun stuff?
I thought that is
the fun stuff. That is the fun stuff, but my own personal fun stuff.
Gotcha.
All right, this is where I'm going to fanboy just a little bit on you. Of course, everybody talks to you about the Cosby Show. I don't know, are you sick of it at this point? Do you embrace what it is, or did you have a problem at one point trying to separate yourself from that?
No, I've never had a problem with it. I think so. There's this misconception about how I feel about Theo, I guess, because people love to call me Theo, and I'm very quick to correct anyone and say, no, my name is Malcolm,
right?
Because I don't consider myself Theo. Even at the height of the show, when I would sign autographs and people would say, "Well, put Theo," and I'm like, "No, I'm not Theo,"
right?
Because I even knew then that Theo was not going to be the end all be all of my career.
Yeah, you don't want to be typecast.
Yeah, and I also knew that I was very aware as a teenager that the transition from being seen as child actor to being taken seriously as adult actor might not be a smooth one.
Right.
So I was pretty much obsessed with life after Cosby and what I was going to do after Cosby, because I never wanted to be one of those "where are they now" kids.
That's smart. Because some kids are living in the moment and they're not thinking ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And even, at the height of the show, when people would ask, well, what's it feel like to be successful?
Right.
And even at 15, 16 years old, my philosophy was, well, this show is successful, but because being on the number one show does not guarantee an acting career for the rest of my life,
right,
it won't be until I'm 40, 50, 60 years old, having been working consistently as an actor and director, that I could look back and say, I've had a successful career.
What do you think to this day, when you have people like myself that come up and say, I grew up on the show, that show was my childhood or my young adult life, and it doesn't matter what the race is, even though, it's an all-black family, you get every race saying, I watched the Cosby Show. Yeah. I grew up, this was my family.
Yeah. It's awesome. And I think it's really a testament to, to Mr. Cosby, because a lot of the shows came from his monologues.
Right.
So, by the time the show came on, he already had
before
a
the show started,
appeal.
my dad had all the albums.
Yeah, exactly.
So I would listen to the records, and hearing like Buck and Weird Harold and stuff that was from his neighborhood, and you could see some of those stories translate into the Cosby Show.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he had that universal appeal, to start with. So, I think that's one of the things that made the show so transcending, is that the stories he was telling were universal stories. And oftentimes, especially in black sitcoms, the humor is so tied into, what's considered the black experience.
Right.
The humor is predicated on being black. Whereas this show was about, a family who were very clearly black, but the humor and the issues were universal issues.
Well, about the family.
Yeah. And unfortunately, got a lot of backlash from people because of that.
I mean, there were times, I'm sure you get everybody's favorite moments from the show, and then sometimes, a lot of the same, and sometimes it's like that moment stuck with you for the rest of your life. I don't get that. Like, Bill with the sandwiches around the house. He was trying to eat the sandwich just in peace, or he was trying to keep it away from Claire. I do that now, you know? And I was like, oh my God, that's exactly why I love sandwiches, because he would just sit there at the table watching TV, eating this huge sandwich.
The hoagies, yeah.
Another thing, I learned how to open a jar of pickles from the show.
I don't remember that one.
There was an episode where everyone's trying to open it, and I think it was the older sister, Sandra.
Yeah.
Right? Came in there, she just looked at it. You smack the bottom of the jar to release the suction and open it up when everyone else couldn't open it.
Great.
I learned that off the Cosby Show.
And it worked.
It still, to this day, it always worked. But it's just these little moments that you're like, I can't believe that TV show, even though I enjoyed it, I watched it I watched it on Fridays because I was still in school and stuff for earlier seasons.
Yeah.
My parents would tape it on the VCR, so I would watch the tape the next day when I came home and watch what was the start of Must See TV on Thursday nights with NBC.
There you go.
But yeah, all these little moments, like you can see where I'm rattling off all this stuff here. It's like, oh my God, this, and this. I mean, even the neighbor, I gotta look up his name. Wallace Shawn.
Oh, yeah.
Wallace Shawn, who played one of Cliff's best friends, the neighbor and everything. And then I saw him there and then realized he was on The Princess Bride.
Oh, my God.
So I had the reverse effect on it. So, I mean, that show just meant so much to me.
I had that too, because when I saw Princess Bride, I was like, oh, that's Wallace Shawn. And I love him in them. That's one of my favorite movies, actually.
Me too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good to hear, because anything else would be inconceivable. The other thing, too, with the show was I always look forward to the beginning of the fall season because the intro would change. And you never knew what version you were going to get as far as the interpretation of the theme song. And then it became classy, then ridiculous, then so dramatic over the top, where you did like the musical for the intro, and like each season, like, oh, that's the new intro. You're excited not just to see the show and everybody coming back, but what is this season's intro going to be? I think my favorite one is the one where it's more of a smooth jazz vibe, and you're wearing a tuxedo.
Yep, I think that's the Bobby McFerrin. It's Bobby McFerrin doing that.
Yeah, I think that might be the one. And they cut to you, and you just have nothing. You just you want no part of it, and then all of a sudden your foot slips down and just doing a little thing. I don't know why that made me laugh as a kid, but that just did, and that always stuck with me there.
That's great, because I hated that. I'm so glad you weren't going to say the one with the Caribbean and all that.
Honestly, that was my least favorite.
Yeah, I hated it. Well, maybe I was the only one who hated doing it, but I didn't like that one.
It looked cut to you, and you just have nothing. You just you want no part of it, and then all of a sudden your foot slips down and just doing a little thing. I don't know why that made me laugh as a kid, but that just did, and that always stuck with me there.
That's great, because I hated that. I'm so glad you weren't going to say the one with the Caribbean and all that.
Honestly, that was my least favorite.
Yeah, I hated it. Well, maybe I was the only one who hated doing it, but I didn't like that one.
It looked like South Pacific.
Yeah.
Everyone coming out and you're doing this huge musical score.
Yes, and the director kept saying, "Oh, come on, people, we're going to make it hot and tasty."
Everyone has their favorite episode. One of mine being the Stevie Wonder episode. Jamming on the one. And the episode where you heard stories from Bill, and then you applied it to when you were living in your college apartment, and you had the soda machine coming from the fridge. And ruined the apartment and sliding on the soap and all that stuff. What were some of yours?
I have several. I would probably say my all-time favorite would have been the very first one, when Theo was getting D's in school, and there was the whole back and forth with Theo and Cliff with the Monopoly money.
Right.
And then Theo gives this really heartfelt speech about wanting to be regular people, and if you want a doctor, if mom wasn't a lawyer, I'd still love you. Why can't you just love me for me? And it was such a heartfelt speech that he finishes the speech, and the audience is clapping, and they're with him.
You got him. Bill's flabbergasted.
Yeah. And he just looks and he says, "Theo, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard about." That's probably my favorite episode.
I love that.
But
I'll eat bologna.
Yeah. I'll eat bologna and cereal.
And that one little bit out of that entire run, that is the go-to bit whenever they do retrospectives on the Emmys or NBC or the greatest TV shows of all time. It always cuts it always cuts down to that scene in your bedroom with you and your dad with the Monopoly money.
Yeah, that's classic.
The one where you had the earring and you're just kind of mimicking back and forth so he can't get a look at it.
Yeah, that's actually one of my favorites. I remember few years ago, probably maybe about 4 or 5 years ago now, I watched that Earring episode, and I was in my living room on my couch by myself. And now, see, I'm finally far removed enough from the show where I could watch it as a viewer, because for so long I still watched it, with the critical eye and looking at my work and seeing what I could have done differently, what I could have done better. So I'd finally gotten to a point where I was far removed enough from the show where I can actually watch it as a viewer,
right,
and get what people saw. So I watched that particular Earring episode on the bed, and they're going back and forth, and I sat there by myself and laughed on my couch by myself.
Right.
And I called Mr. Cosby up. I said, "Hey man, I'm watching the show. Man, we were funny." And he said, "You're damn right we were funny."
And he hung up the phone angrily at you. I'm running out of time with you, but all that, Keenan and Kel, your guest appearances on there, was a bit after the Cosby Show and before Malcolm and Eddie, and all of a sudden, there he is. He's back. He's doing something.
Yeah.
It was really exciting to see you. So I loved that. I loved you on Key and Peele.
That was great.
Seasons
Yeah, those
ago,
guys are great.
We were playing a Republican. Was really good.
Those guys are
but
great.
you also in February as FX American Crime Story. You're doing the people versus O.J. Simpson.
Yeah.
You're playing Al Cowling against Cuba Gooding Jr., who's O.J. Right?
Yes.
So look out for that too.
Yes, I'm playing the guy who's most famously known as the driver of the white Bronco.
Did you get to drive the white Bronco, or they cut to the actual footage?
No, we shut down the 710 freeway in California to shoot that scene.
Horrible incident, but how awesome was it to do that?
It was great, and I did all the driving myself.
All right, unfortunately, I ran out of time with you, sir. Otherwise, I could talk to you forever, and
Thanks
I'm
for
sure
the great
you don't want that.
man.
Malcolm-Jamal War on Twitter.
Yes,
it's also Instagram.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Miles Long Music on Facebook. Get the album Selfless. It's out now. Get it on iTunes or MalcolmJamalWarner.com.
Yeah, man.
Sir, next time you're back in New York here, I'd love to have you come up and talk to you again.
Cool, I would love to. And if for whatever reason something happens and they're casting auditions for the Erik Nagel show,
right?
I'll have the producers let me know, because I would love to come audition.
Please, and then we can get the kid who played Peter on the Cosby Show to play me. There we go. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Take care.
All right. That was fun, man.
Can't do a Halloween show without playing Ghostbusters.
Of course!
Because there's so many other cliche songs to play on a Halloween. Monster Mash.
I was going to say, I'll take the Ghostbusters theme over Monster Mash.
I thought you would.
100%.
Yeah.
But it also ties into some other stuff we're going to get to here in a second. Welcome back to It's Erik Nagel. 866-969-1969. Giving away a lot of stuff tonight. Tricks or treats, depending on how good your call is to the program.
That's right.
That power of God lays in Matt's hands.
That's right.
So he will determine whether you're good or bad, and if you get a trick or treat on whatever this cool stuff is we're giving away.
And it's really funny because the tricks kind of stink.
I'm going to say, the tricks are actually getting a little better now. Like, the tricks are, kind of evening out.
Don't say that. People are going to call in with shitty calls just to see what the tricks are.
Listen,
then we'll trick them.
With only a handful of exceptions, with only a handful of exceptions, any film franchises that gets to 5, normally speaking, that's not a good thing.
But the other 7. One is 7.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, that might be an exception to some people.
I was going to say some people, I think, would like that one. I agree.
Yeah,
remember,
for me,
this is not the trick or the treat.
But at least for the good stuff, we have some stuff from our friends at Funko.
That's right.
An exclusive New York Comic-Con.
Cthulhu.
I love how heavy this thing is because it's made of metal.
It's all in the head.
We've got Chucky from Mezco plus a Blu-ray edition of Child's Play, the first one there to go with it. Some Gremlin stuff, Avengers, and another. What's the? I keep forgetting the name of the vinyl piece. Inner Child.
It's Inner Child by Nervous Wreck.
Right, so we have that to give away.
You know, Child's Play. Everybody had their scariest growing up. Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael Myers.
No,
Chucky.
Really?
Chucky was the one that really creeped me out more than anything.
My favorite part about Child's Play is that the puppet doesn't say anything for an hour, and then his first line's like, "I'm gonna kill you, you fucking bitch." And you're like, "Whoa!" That puppet really just went right for it. You're like, holy shit!
I think it was because I didn't have a My Buddy doll, but I think I wanted one. And so, I was kind of, I think I was thinking fondly on the My Buddy experience and thinking to myself, that's really fucking creepy. Freddy, I always thought was kind of goofy, even at his scariest was kind of goofy. And Jason never really scared me. That was another one. It was a horror movie, but I was never really scared by it. Child's Play, Chucky, for whatever reason, creeped me the fuck out.
I always just thought he was doing a bad Bruce Willis impersonation.
He might have been.
That's why I was like, this is taking me out.
That's why it was scary.
Bring me Hudson Hawk.
Okay.
Oh, man, I love Hudson Hawk.
Matt Gittles and Allie Breen, comedian, her official title. I'll even throw an Esquire in there. Maybe that'll get some ticket sales up there for you.
Hopefully.
Very regal.
I know.
I don't know if it's legal, but it looks good on a marquee.
Sure. Legal, regal, whatever.
I know what he said. I was adding something else to it.
He was rhyming.
Let's talk about the Ghostbusters stuff. But first, why don't we have Allie give out her dates and plugs and all that other stuff?
Sure. I'm gonna be on Fox and Friends tomorrow morning if anyone wants to watch that.
Halloween morning.
On Halloween morning. Talking about Carly Fiorina. And then...
By the way, the debates were this week.
Yeah.
I posted something which seems to... didn't sit too well with her supporters. I posted a photo and said she has the eyes of the goon from Popeye. Oh, yeah. And I put the photos side by side. I'm like, oh my God, she looks exactly like the goon.
I saw that and I definitely took a spit take.
That's hilarious.
So sorry, continue, Allie.
No, and then I'll be in... by the way, I saw the announcer for the debates or something in the beginning. It was the voice of Space Ghost. Did anyone see that?
Damn it.
Oh, I've met that guy before too, and I can't think of his name.
He was
What
also
a cool
on
voiceover career. What
they
a
also used to
strange-
bring him on the Brack show a lot.
Yeah. Oh, Coast to Coast. I want to watch Coast to Coast.
Are you looking up his name?
I'm trying to look up his name.
Yeah, I don't remember what that is, but I saw that.
He was
and I
one
was
of
like,
the debate moderators?
no, he was like the announcer in the
The
beginning.
announcer for CNBC.
Just as
Yeah,
the voiceover.
it is that guy.
That'd be amazing if he was a moderator.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
He did
Actual Space Ghost.
Space Ghost? Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at my outfit.
George
What do you guys think?
That's
What are
him.
you going to do about the budget?
I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I'm doing. I have Pittsburgh Bonkers coming up, and then I should have looked. Actually, you might have to come back to me.
Okay.
They can go to my schedule at alleybreen.com.
Why are comics never good at plugging their
Oh, it's
stuff?
the worst. And I have something. It's like full my schedule, but I can't think of where I'm going
That
to be.
should be like right on the top of your head, next
Yeah.
to your act. It's like here where you can hear my act, and here's my act.
There's nothing at the top of my head. Nothing.
Of course, it's Halloween. We played some Ghostbusters there. Ghostbusters news for any of you who are fans of the franchise, and it doesn't have to do with the female Ghostbusters coming out. It has to do with the actual original edition of the Ghostbusters that Lego is putting out the Firehouse now.
It's insane too.
It's about $300, I think.
Yeah, it's like mad expensive. But
How
it's,
many
it's
pieces?
Many.
Enough to justify $300.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
that's a lot of pieces.
It's really big and it's got like moving parts and it's not just like a facade. It's actually a decent set. But it's $300. I'm having a hard time figuring out how that set is $300. Because like Hogwarts, right? That was like a $300 set, and that thing is like I could understand how that's $300.
Yeah.
The Ghostbusters,
Swiss
I mean,
Ghostbusters.
Whoa, what is that?
I don't think that's it.
No, that's the prototype photo, but I don't know why it says Swiss on it.
Oh, that's weird. This is the
that
one.
it?
The reddish one is the one that I saw the other day.
So
I
how
don't know.
big is it? So is it not only the fact that you have to buy it, then you have to find space for it?
And I think it actually also comes with.
Oh, the
come with the
Marshmallow
Stay
Man
Puft?
is awesome.
It comes with 5 minifigures, I think. I don't know if it comes with an Ecto one. Maybe it does.
Somebody
come with an
made
Ecto
that.
one.
That's that. I've never seen the Stay Puft.
Yeah, I've never
Marshmallow Man
seen
as a
Stay
Lego
Puft
set.
either. But yeah, it's about $300, and I mean it's a cool set. I just don't know that I could spend $300 on
That's a
it.
lot.
I could.
Well, of course you could.
I shouldn't.
Sorry, moneybags.
No, I'll buy you one too, and everyone will be happy.
Do you guys
I like
put them
that
together
Slimer.
yourself? Like as adults, you'll put that together? You'll buy the set and actually build it?
It's actually very relaxing, and I'm not saying that as a joke. It's like people put together puzzles
Sure.
to kind of clear their head and not have to focus on anything other than following the instructions.
Yeah.
It really is very therapeutic.
I bet it is, actually. I just
And
don't
we
know
also
any-
got to see it when we all got to see the Lego documentary, the Brickumentary. And they went through there. They were showing how Legos was helping autistic kids and people with certain mental issues, and also people. Trey Parker from South Park.
Love him.
Explains that he goes and buys Lego sets, doesn't matter what it is, because it's so stressful with writing and producing and putting South Park together that he wants something where he's not the guy who has to give out all the instructions and the details of how to do things. He wants to be told what to do it this way, and that's all he wants to focus on. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, I'm not alone in this. So it's an adult puzzle. It's a kid's toy, but an adult puzzle.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
There's actually
I'm going to buy it.
There's a Lego artist that's amazing. Have you guys seen that guy?
I have.
He's incredible.
Nathan Sawaya.
Yeah, that's the one that looks incredible.
Nathan Sawaya. I went to his exhibit last year, Art of the Brick in Philadelphia. His stuff is insane.
Insane.
Yeah, but that's a whole new level of dedication to Legos. I just want to, have a couple hours to myself.
That guy just made like 150,000 pieces.
And a lot of crazy glue.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to start from scratch and figure this out. They don't make this figure.
Yeah, I can't get a replacement nose.
But the Lego Firehouse from Ghostbusters is coming out. About $300, definitely worth it. The Ecto one is out if you want to dabble with that. That's about $30. It's not too bad for that one. Also with Ghostbusters, when we were at Comic-Con, the big thing was Back to the Future because the 30th anniversary was a week away. And they had the DeLorean set up at the 80s, or Cafe 80s. Was it 80s Cafe or Cafe 80s?
It was Cafe 80s.
Cafe 80s. Yeah. Had the DeLorean set up there, and the guy who looks like Marty McFly was dressed up, and a guy who sort of looks like Doc was there with him. And he has this car, but apparently he has a whole series of cars that relate to TV, movies, cartoons, things like that.
Yeah, that's all he does. He has like a Night Rider. He has a Mystery Machine from
he's got the Green
Scooby-Doo.
Hornet.
He's got like a whole bunch of different cars. Yeah.
So he has the Ecto one, the original Ecto one, design from the first movie, not the second one with the slime tanks on it, but the first one. So he brings it over to the firehouse that Ghostbusters is based on over in Chelsea, parks it in front, and now everyone was just taking photos all day for Halloween with Ecto one right in front of the Ghostbusters firehouse. And now I'm mad that I found out too late in the afternoon and he was gone, and I didn't get a chance to go down there and get a photo.
Ah, boo.
Man.
But that would have been a great thing to do.
Awesome. If I would have known, I would have went down there. I would have just left work. Fuck
yeah,
I get so jaded about Halloween because I never look for stuff anymore around Halloween because there's never. It's almost becoming like New Year's. It's like it's never anything. Any party's going to be the fun party to be at or the fun
I haven't
event.
actually gone to a legit Halloween party in I couldn't 5, 6, 7 years.
What about haunted houses? Do you guys do any of those?
No, I don't like haunted houses.
My friends went to the Blood Manor one in the city last week, and they said it was kind of lame. So I don't know.
Where is that?
It's the one that's down in by like Varick Street or whatever, by Soho. And they have it, and I guess it's like one of those ones you walk through and people like jump out and they touch you and be like, brrr, and like push you and stuff like that.
There's one of those by me. It's called Bane.
Okay.
It's in, I think it's in Livingston, and it's supposed to be like really, really creepy and really, really scary. But I don't want to be touched in. I don't want to be. No, I don't need that experience. Why would I want that?
There's actually a really good documentary about haunted houses on Netflix, and about this small town in Massachusetts, and there's like 3 families, and they all build like their own haunted houses for the neighborhood kids. It's actually a pretty good documentary. I can't remember. I think it's called like American Haunting or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's pretty good. Definitely worth checking out.
You know, we kind of touched upon it a little bit earlier in Halloween, and you're saying that nothing goes on Halloween anymore, and we don't go to Halloween parties
There are things
anymore.
that happen on Halloween.
Yeah, but it's,
the freaks come out at night.
It doesn't seem as prevalent maybe as it used to. Maybe it's because we're getting older. But is Mischief Night still like a big thing? I remember growing up, nice, Houdini, right?
There you go.
I remember as a kid, like, we would like toilet paper, tissue people's houses and stuff. I never did eggs because I don't know. I felt bad about eggs, but I did toilet. You
ever see they show the eggs when your brain is on drugs?
Yes,
eggs are bad.
Eggs are bad, but it takes the paint off your car.
Any questions,
Matt? No questions.
Okay.
But do kids still do that? Like, is that still a thing? Like, it hasn't happened in my neighborhood in the couple of years that I've been living where I have. I haven't woken up in the morning to, like, toilet paper my trees, and I have a couple of bigger trees, like, in my front yard, so...
And your kid's a dick, so you would think that'd be...
Yeah, right, exactly. So, yeah, no, I don't know.
I have no idea because I've been in the city for like the last 9-10 years or so now, so I don't see trick or treaters or anything in this like suburb.
Yeah, I don't know what you can do in the city for Mischief Night.
It's just you walk around.
That's just called vandalism.
Yeah, it's just called surviving.
Yeah, that's called Monday. So.
Yeah, but people used to like brace themselves for Mischief Night. I remember people would be afraid of what was going to happen. I don't think it's a thing like that anymore. I
remember one time I got egged, and they used hard-boiled eggs, so it hurt more. Oh. It hurt more, but it was less cleanup. So you kind of had to take your lumps and be like, "Oh, at least my clothes aren't covered in slime now, but my arm hurts."
I have welts, but at least I don't have to run anything through the wash.
Yeah, that wasn't cool.
It's like a game of paintball.
Yeah, it's like putting the water balloons in the freezer before you go out. Yeah, not fun.
Yeah. What about you, Eric, in your neighborhood? Is Mischief Night still a thing?
Eric was Mischief Night.
No, Mischief Night wasn't And if it was, I wasn't aware of it. Because, again, you know, as a kid, you're not going out the night before Halloween because you had school or something like that.
Right.
But I would see, you know, it was lame. It was shaving cream in the street, toilet paper, silly string, things like that. Occasionally houses would get egged, but it was nothing that bad until I was in a junior year and my friends could learn how to drive. And then I found out, and you know who some of my friends were. Here's a story for you. Back at East Islip High School. Apparently, one day in early October, they decided to take one of the big silver oversized fire extinguishers out of the hallway.
Oh, those were big.
Right. So took it on the side of the high school with some woods and then a highway. And they decided to take this into the woods there and figured out how to open it up and drain the fire hydrant. What they were doing over the course of a couple of weeks was if they had to go to the bathroom, they went and peed inside the fire extinguisher and then closed it back up and let it sit there for a couple of weeks.
Oh my God.
Right. Then Halloween comes along, and I'm not aware of this. I find out on Halloween, where we're in a friend's pickup truck, that they have this fire extinguisher. I'm like, who cares about a fire extinguisher? And then they proceed to tell me this, and then they had it charged a little bit just so it would shoot what was in there out.
Oh.
And I go, bullshit. And they spray somebody's tires on somebody's car. And then you go, and I'm like, oh my God, you could smell how bad this was.
It's like a week of rotting piss from like 7 people.
A little longer. They would go out there, they would pee into it, seal it back up. And then, you know, around Halloween time, they had it partially charged so they could shoot what was in it. So they had that in paintball. And then I knew, I'm like, I'm going to jail. At some point.
No
because
good can come from this.
If they can tie it to you and some kid got, you know, weeks old piss shot in their eyes and mouth, that's going to be a problem.
And Eric was from like the good part of town too. Like I was like I was on the bad side. It was just even worse.
You were on the other side of the highway.
Yeah, that's literally it.
But it was a month's worth of rotting piss.
That's what I mean. 'Cause that's like the most well-organized vandalism I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I'm amazed too. But
it was a very well-to-do neighborhood. Like they knew exactly how to plan this shit out.
It's boredom. That's a lot of fucking boredom.
Yeah, there are people who are now on the PTA. Actually have.
I don't know if people still do mischief night.
You know what they do now? They come to your house 2 days before and they ring the doorbell and they leave a little pumpkin there that says spooky. That's what they do for mischief night.
You're doing well.
Yeah.
You know who keeps vandalizing my house for mischief? Fucking squirrels. Keep eating my pumpkins.
Fuck them, man.
They destroyed one of my scarecrows out front. Those are the bastards I have to worry about. It's not kids. It's squirrels.
Oh, yeah. Is pumpkin smashing still a thing? That always happened with no one's
that's always happened, but I don't see it too much anymore.
That's what I mean. I feel like I don't see. But I also remember growing up that, like, unless what happened to you was really, really bad, like unless it was like they broke a window or like they did throw an egg at your car and ruin the paint, like if it was just, even if it was just like toilet paper or even pumpkin smashing, you kind of got mad, but you were like, oh, those kids, and that was like the end of it. I kind of feel like now it would be you call the cops or you go outside and you beat them to death, and then you're on the news the next day. Like, I think society has just changed a little bit, and
the trick or
maybe
treat bandits on the loose again.
It definitely changed because as I was getting older, they would start carding you for eggs.
Right? Yeah.
Like you couldn't get eggs from grocery stores anymore. Like
we couldn't get shaving cream. They wouldn't let you buy shaving cream. Like within the week of Halloween, if you looked like you couldn't shave, you were not buying shaving cream.
But also, I think around my time too of going into high school is when they started putting in that rule with hardware stores that you couldn't buy spray paint either.
Yeah.
You know, I remember it somewhere in my lifetime where all of a sudden I heard from friends that now all of a sudden they're IDing you and stuff just to buy a can of spray paint.
Or it was locked up.
Yeah. Some of those they still do.
Yeah.
It's behind the grates that they keep the paint and propane and stuff.
That's part mischief night, part graffiti though. That's a little bit of everything.
That's when you like melt down like the pins. You can melt the top of the shaving cream can so it would spray out like a fire hose. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't remember graffiti being part of Fright Night or.
Yeah. I don't know. I can. Maybe it just changed, which is a good
thing, I guess.
The rough
streets of East Islip, man. It was rough out there.
Yeah, and the only time now that I think about it, I see smashed pumpkins are the owners of the pumpkins the day after, and like, fuck this, I'm not keeping this around, and throw it right into the street. They'll clean it up.
I feel like we're talking about this fondly, like a friend that we just lost and how we missed it, but really, we should be happy that it's moved on. That people are no longer vandalizing our homes. So I hope it did go away, is the moral of the story.
It'll be back. It's always back.
Sure. You're going to bring it back, Kittles, aren't you?
I'll try. It's
you
tonight.
You rat bastard.
It's tonight. Let's go.
Tony in Chicago. Tony, how are you, sir?
Not too bad. How are you, Eric?
Doing good. What can we do for you, sir?
I just want to say, man, I really enjoy the show. I grew up the same time you guys did, and all the stuff you guys talk about, the Funkos and all that stuff, it's all stuff I'm still into now. So I just want to say I enjoy the show, man.
So you're a big fan of the Funko, are you?
Funkos, Loot Crates, the Nerd Blocks. I got the Marvel ones, all those blind boxes and all that good stuff. I love all that stuff.
Let me just say something about the Funko Marvel box. Somebody on our floor here next to our office has a subscription to that.
So the Villains box just came out, right?
And it looked awesome, and I was jealous. And I said, I was asking the person who brings the mail around, I'm like, you sure that's not for this office? And like, no. And then looking at the label, person had a subscription. I was like, God damn it, I want that box.
Damn it.
But big spreading. People like the Funko stuff. Funko Pop. I think that's a good call.
I think so. He praised us.
So should we give him a treat?
He gets a treat.
All right, Matt, what are we going to give him?
Well, if he's a big Funko fan, we should give him the Funko Cthulhu from Loot Crate and our friends at Funko.
No, this isn't from Loot
Crate. That's the Comic-Con exclusive.
I'm sorry, that's just
that's
from
the New York Comic-Con exclusive. Giddles
so there
is
you
right.
go.
Would you like that?
Yeah, man. Like I said, I'm happy to get any free stuff.
We just wasted it on him.
Hang up on him before I decide to change this to a trick, all right?
All right, Tony, I'm going to put you on hold. Lewis will get your information, and we'll send out the Cthulhu.
Congratulations, Tony.
Or Cthulhu just raise, and you'll find him when he...
There you go. All right, so he's on hold there. We are going to take a break in a few minutes. The people from Motherboard are here.
Huzzah!
We had them on not too long ago. Nicholas was here, and we did some tech reviews. He's got a whole bunch of stuff that we want to talk about tonight. Stuff with some new phones. I believe the new Apple TV's involved. And this one, everyone around here is very excited for virtual porn.
Lewis is literally dancing.
Yeah, he was jumping out of his seat.
I have so many questions, Eric. I'm so excited.
There are people who only work the morning show, and they've been here all day because virtual porn is going to be here. So we'll get to that in just a few minutes here. But one other thing I want to talk about, and Matt brought this to my attention earlier this week, and at the time, we weren't quite sure if it was real or fake, and then doing some research, and we realized, what it was, that it's a scripted drama that you brought to my attention, this new podcast called The Message.
Yes, indeed.
Have you seen this, Giddles?
Allie? Well, it's a podcast.
No, I haven't seen it.
You want to tell them about The Message, Matt?
Sure. So, quickly, there are 4 episodes that are out right now. The 5th one comes out, I think, on Sunday. This is a new podcast from, it's GE, correct, Eric?
Right. It's the GE Theater.
Right.
That used to be hosted by Ronald Reagan.
Correct.
Way back in the long ago. He would come up there and they would put on dramatic presentations and things. Not necessarily like a Twilight Zone thing, but it would just be interesting scripted subject matter that they would make long form and put out there in the days when they used to do sponsored specials.
Right. So they're like 30-minute audio drama episodes, and the story behind the message, without giving anything away,
They're 30 minutes? Hold on.
Yeah, I think they're about 28, 30 minutes. They're not that long. That
doesn't seem right.
That sounds like that'll be the shortest podcast I signed up to.
No, they're not. The intro to the series is 1 minute, 13 minutes, 16 minutes, 9 minutes, 12 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I was going to say
I didn't even realize
they're not
that.
very long. Yeah, because I know I blew through the 4 episodes because I only heard about it this week. I blew through it relatively quickly, so which is good. I mean, for that kind of format, you can, and so it's kind of almost like chapters of a book in that regards, right? Audio drama, but the story is it's about a group of scientists who are charged by NASA to help decode this message that NASA has been trying to decode for like 50 years that they say came from space, and it's, they think that it's aliens trying to communicate with us, and NASA had to give up on the project because there was a curse surrounding it, and anybody who tried to decode it would either pass away, or get sick,
some kind of sickness, cancer, issues where they weren't they couldn't sleep, so it was driving them insane.
Was it kind of like when they opened the pyramid, the tombs of Giza type thing, like that kind of curse, like
no,
Pharaoh's curse?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, but it wasn't like instantaneous.
Okay.
It was like
like The Ring.
Yeah, kind of. It's
Don't look at this photo of Grandma; she'll come out and kill you.
I'm trying to stay loose because I don't want to give anything away, but it's not an instantaneous curse. Okay. So the first 4 episodes are out. The 5th episode comes out on on Sunday. And it's interesting. I really like audio dramas, especially at work. Like, I can't watch video all the time when I'm sitting at my desk. So I listen to a lot of podcasts anyway. And I've been doing like books. I've been doing like audio books are always good. So an audio drama, unique original content. And it's well done. It's well produced. It's got a nice cast. It's like Welcome to Night Vale is another one that I've been listening to.
You know, I've seen that. It keeps fluctuating to being number one on the comedy charts for iTunes. And I keep meaning to download it. It looks interesting. I'm not sure what it is.
A good friend of mine is a big fan of that. She loves all of them. Yeah.
Welcome to Night Vale is a fictional local radio show that takes place in the town of Night Vale, and weird shit happens in the town. But it's so like normal that like they're talking on the show and they're like, and when you go home tonight after work, you know, pay no attention to the pyramids talking to you, like weird shit like that. And then it's just kind of like, and then they go on to like the weather report and like the traffic report, and it's interesting and it's well done. And I haven't listened to all of it. I'm probably about 30 episodes in. I think they have like 75 total. So,
wow.
But yeah, check out The Message. Check out Welcome to Night Vale too. Both are really good.
I love podcasts.
It's weird too with them being so short formed, like you said. But the audio itself centers around, at least for the story, is this person who I guess is into linguistics and things like that. Decides that she's going to try to intern with this cipher group,
right? That's
trying to decode this message here. And then as things are going on, weirder shit's being revealed and happen. And without giving anything away, the fourth episode, which is the most recent one at the time that we're recording this here, just cuts off.
Yes.
And I went, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, it leaves you hanging.
I'm like, and then I went, God damn it, they got me. You know, I was sitting there, I forgot what I was doing, but I was doing something else and I'm listening to it, and then it cuts off. And I'm like, I freaked for a moment. I'm like, they got me.
I actually re-downloaded the file because I thought maybe when I downloaded it the first time, it got screwed up and it cut off and I only got like a partial download.
Right.
And so no, it cuts off. It's, again, it leaves you in suspense. If you like audio dramas, if you like that old time stuff, it's a good format. It's a good medium.
Yeah. And especially to figure out, especially for them to figure out that people nowadays, with such instant access to YouTube and Netflix and streaming everything on demand, that would sit there and listen to a serial like this. I guess Serial, even though I was not a fan of Serial, I know everyone else loved it. I did like the concept of how they put it together.
Right.
I guess things like this, they realized people are going to sit down and listen to this like a book.
Well, I think it's also because so many more people are working like computer jobs and like sitting at your desk, and you can't just have YouTube open, and you need something to listen to so you don't blow your brains out.
That's exactly what it is.
And so you put on podcasts, and that's what it is. Like most of my friends who get me into podcasts, they're all accountants. They're like, I just have to listen to this shit all day because otherwise I'm going to kill myself.
And I commute in from Jersey, and if I did not have podcasts in my life, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
I need a podcast at least every day.
Lewis, are you going to download The Message?
Yes, I am.
You should.
Matt suggested I'm going to download it. I like Serial.
You liked Serial, so obviously Serial was based on a real story. This is not. But if you like Serial, I think you'd like The Message. So definitely check it out.
And then I'm definitely going to check, what is it, Night Vale?
Welcome to Night Vale.
Welcome to Night Vale?
Yeah.
All right.
Is that really short, too? Are those short episodes?
Yeah, those are about a half hour each as well. Yeah.
Because that's my only problem. Some podcasts, the ones that are like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, I can't. I don't have that attention span anymore. Yeah.
Anything over an hour, I find is hard.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And if if you're going to stay with SiriusXM and not download that, I once again will plug the Covers channel, which, by the way, after we talked to Johnny Maxwell last Friday, that was my weekend. My phone was just streaming the Cover channel the entire weekend.
Nice.
And all I was doing was buying that song, buying that song, buying that song, buying that song. There was a lot of stuff that I knew, but that's the cool thing about music, because you can't know everything. And all of a sudden these other covers come out, and then you're like, what is this band? So you look to see what else they do, and I haven't been interested in music in that way in a long, long time. And that brought me back into it. Like, I was going through YouTube, I was going through iTunes and seeing other stuff that these people have. There's one group in particular that we'll talk about next time because we don't have time right now. But it's a group called Postmodern Jukebox.
Oh, I love them.
You know
They're
them.
Awesome. Have you ever seen their videos too?
That's where I heard that they did a Taylor Swift cover.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this is great. I'm going to check them out.
With the creepy clown? Have you ever seen the videos? Some of the videos have a clown.
God damn it! Now I gotta find a creepy
I don't want
wanna
to
see
see.
that.
I don't want to see a creepy clown.
I do.
Postmodern Jukebox is awesome.
In a Taylor Swift cover, there's a creepy clown. That
I don't
seems
know if he's-
bizarre.
I
Is
don't
this
know
a
if
Crispin
he's-
Glover video?
I don't know if
Is it Radiohead's Creep?
the clown might not be in the Taylor Swift one, but he's in a couple of them. Yeah, it's booked with
clown?
clown.
Oh
Potty
my
training
God!
rat.
Yeah, see?
That's terrifying.
This is a cover of Royals that they're doing.
Yeah, Chandelier, that's the one that I first heard him.
It's like
Is that ads?
this technology, Eric.
No,
What you
but it
doing to
should be
us?
instant. That's the problem.
Should
It's
be
horrible
instant.
for radio, just sitting here waiting for ads on
Just
YouTube.
like the curse, it's not instant.
All right,
There you go,
skip
skip
the ad.
ad.
Here we go. This is Postmodern Jukebox cover of Royals.
Oh, I totally thought he walked in with like a 2-liter Dr. Pepper in his hand.
All right, well, this one's not my
Anyways,
favorite. But
yes, I like Postmodern Jukebox.
they do a lot of these weird interpretations of
They do.
songs for covers. They do swing, 50s doo-wop, 70s soul and funk stuff. You know, weird interpretations like that song should not sound like that, but they make it work.
Yeah.
So check out Postmodern Jukebox. Also check out the covers channel here at SiriusXM.
Of course.
If you have a radio that goes that high, I think it's channel 301. Otherwise, just stream it off the internet channels there.
Very cool.
All right, so let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to our friends over at Motherboard with a lot of cool tech stuff to play with.
Nice.
All right, be right back.
It's Erik Nagel. We'll be right back. It's Erik Nagel. Eric and Matt are back.
Matt Gittles, Allie Breen here. And it's exciting to have Motherboard back in the studio here. I love when we get to get our hands on some tech stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And find out what's going on, because as much as I try to keep up on it, every time I talk to Nick, I was like, wow, I didn't know about that either. I'm always falling behind. Nicholas, how are you, man?
Not bad. Thanks for having me again.
No, anytime. And you brought somebody with you.
Yeah, I brought Carrie Paul. She's a reporter at Motherboard. She's pretty great. So I just thought another person would, join the party.
Hi,
Awesome.
Carrie. How are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
I think that's... Oh, the mic's a little
Can you
too
hear me?
high. Yeah.
Should I try to...
Bring that down a little bit. There you go.
Cool.
What do you
Hello.
do at Motherboard? Like, tell me about your day. Like, what are you responsible? Are you his boss?
No, he is my boss.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I write a little bit with him. I write a little bit about consumer tech, similar issues to that, tech reviews, things like that. And then I also cover, I started my coverage at Motherboard with the Silk Road trial. So I was covering a lot of deep web drug markets,
wow.
developments in that. So
What did you think of, if you were covering that, what did you think of Alex Winter's movie?
it was great. I saw it after the trial was finished, so it was kind of interesting after being in the center of all of it to see a recap. I know there are a lot of different opinions, of course, on how he portrayed Silk Road in general. It's such a divisive topic, and of course, everyone has their theories of whether there were multiple Dread Triad Roberts and how likely that was. And of course, it's such a fast-changing story that, it was really interesting to see that all put together.
Wow, being in there, it was just creepy enough finding out about the dark web and the deep web. How do you Silk Road?
Yeah.
There's all these different names for it. That I was like, how do you even remotely try to get to that thing? And then you got to download this software and go to this other thing, and hopefully you get permission from other people to talk to them. It's like a whole to-do. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
So it's not worth
In
your
some
time.
ways, it's as easy as just downloading Tor, and you can access things pretty easily. But as far as navigating it, you never know exactly where and how you'll end up places.
Is there any good that comes out of going that deep into the internet?
Yeah, I mean, I just covered the other day people holding a bake sale on the deep web just to kind of counter the negative impressions that people have of it, and it's used by activists and just a lot of people who don't want to be tracked. Everything they do. So I think a lot of people can identify with that.
Can
mentality.
people, but like, it's like Snapchat when they say, oh, your photos are deleted, but they're not really deleted. There's somewhere that they can be accessed. Is it the same with that kind of web there, going that far into it, that even though they're like, oh, you're off the grid, but really there's always a way to find you?
It's been debated how traceable different Tor nodes are, but I mean, for general purposes, no, it's not very traceable. If you use it, it's much safer than using Google Chrome. I mean incognito mode as well. That's not actually.
So they're
private.
lying to us? Oh man, I gotta clear my cache. Damn it. All right. You also doing stuff with, did I read, you did a thing on Gamergate?
Right. I've been covering Gamergate and the South by Southwest mess that's been happening the last week or so.
Can you give a quick explanation to people who don't know what Gamergate is and why anyone, like if you're not in the industry, why this is a big story that people should pay attention to?
Right. So the origins of it are based in kind of this idea of ethics in video game journalism, and it kind of originated from a personal argument, I guess you would say, between a developer and kind of this idea that people should, within the gaming community, should disclose their relationships with maybe people that they're reviewing games of, things like that. But it kind of wildly went out of hand and turned into sort of a harassment campaign.
It was like a witch hunt, right?
Right, of mostly women in the gaming community, and it kind of became, and it's a decentralized
names were
movement.
being besmirched.
Right, and it's
worse than that.
Yeah, there were a lot of people being doxxed, rape threats, death threats of just people just for for no reason, pretty much.
Sounds like Reddit.
Right, so it's been an ongoing saga. Right, it's been an ongoing saga, all centered around the hashtag Gamergate on Twitter, and of course on Reddit as well. And so recently, there was a scandal with South by Southwest wherein a panel that was anti-harassment caught the attention of Gamergate, which Gamergate assumed an anti-harassment panel was anti-Gamergate, which I think says a lot about the nature of that discourse.
Yeah.
And proceeded to downvote it on South by Southwest website, etc. The anti-harassment panel ended up getting approved, and then Gamergate basically said, if this panel is getting a space, then we want our own space too, kind of like a counter debate in a way. South by Southwest ended up approving that panel that did not bill itself as pro-Gamergate. It billed itself as neutral, but it did feature a couple prominent Gamergate members. So the anti-harassment panel, some of whom have been targets of Gamergate, one of whom had her mother's house swatted by members of Gamergate, understandably had some safety concerns about sharing the same venue with these people who have, targeted them with a concerted harassment campaign for,
I'm getting anxiety just hearing this.
Right. So it just became a mess. And of course, the people on the anti-harassment panel said, hey, what type of security are you going to be having at this event where people who have had known cases of following people at events, calling in SWAT teams, I mean, not these specific panelists, but, people affiliated with Gamergate. And they largely had their concerns ignored by South by Southwest, or one panelist got a fairly patronizing email saying, it's just about diversity of ideas and we want to feature everyone. And of course, they weren't very satisfied with that response. And they brought it up, and it just kind of got out that this harassment panel was receiving harassment. And then South by Southwest just canceled both of the panels and said that there are threats of violence against the anti-harassment panel. So the anti-harassment panel was shut down due to harassment. Vox Media and BuzzFeed pulled out of South by Southwest, or they said if this isn't
they
reinstated,
scared everyone away.
Yeah, well, no, it was more of BuzzFeed saying if this isn't reinstated, you're basically letting harassers win, and we don't want our name affiliated with that. So they pulled out, and now South by Southwest has backtracked completely and reinstated both panels, as well as making a day-long summit on online harassment to try to make right.
Is the origin of all of this really worth where this went? Like the levels that were built off of that, was it really worth that?
It's gotten very out of hand, I think people on all sides would say. And of course, the anti-harassment panel was never saying, we don't want this Gamergate panel to be at South by Southwest. They were just saying, we have some security concerns that we would like addressed before we have our panel there on the same venue as people who have harassed us. And they had their concerns largely dismissed. So it's become a larger discussion of how do you facilitate conversations about controversial topics and make everyone feel like their voices are heard, right, and that they're going to be safe in this area.
Does everyone need to be heard?
Everyone needs to be heard.
It's just the irony of the anti-harassment group getting harassed. Like it's just like
closing down.
Yeah, just
That's what happened to the people who used to do
Hashtag
Hell
karma.
Night. They graduated to...
Right, it's one of those things where it's you want to give two sides of a debate equal standing, but when one side of the debate is objectively crazy, and you give them both equal standing, is it really objective? I think that's kind of the... And I'm not saying it's this panel specifically, but when you look at the movement...
Yeah, a lot of...
There are some precautions that need to be taken. I mean, they've even had bomb threats called in on previous Gamergate-affiliated events, so I think it's not unreasonable.
So it's not even close to being over.
No, and on top of the ongoing drama is that they reinstated these panels, and they made a whole day of anti-harassment summits. They're really trying to show that they care about harassment, and it came to the attention of the anti-harassment panel that was reinstated that they were also reinstating the Gamergate panel on the harassment day, which by no means really makes sense because it's a panel about ethics and video games journalism. That's what they're billing it as. So it has nothing to do with harassment. It's about journalism, and it has a Society of Professional Journalists representative on it. It's a conversation about ethics and journalism. And so I think a lot of people are saying, why is this even on the anti-harassment day?
Right.
And so a lot of the panelists who were reinstated are saying, wait a second, you can reinstate us, but I don't know if I even want to come if these people are still going to be on the panel. It's like they're saying you're inviting our harassers to our anti-harassment panel. So that's the current situation. And I don't think South by Southwest has responded yet.
Does anyone remember what the festival originally started out to be? An arts and entertainment festival where people of like-minded interests could come and hang out in a brand new town that was up and coming.
It was about freaking out the establishment in Texas, man.
Keep Austin weird.
Yeah, what are the threats toward? What are the people getting super angry about that are threatening rape? What is it about?
The specific threats that shut down South by Southwest never disclosed to any of the panelists or any journalists or anyone. They just said there have been violent on-site threats made, and so we are shutting this down.
Wow.
So they never specified. In terms of other threats, I'm not sure the reasoning behind it, but there have been a lot of people who have been doxxed, had their address published with rape or death threats. One of the panelists who was very concerned about her safety had her mom was swatted. They had a SWAT team go in, and it's like a prank that is obviously kind of terrorizing. So
yeah, I don't know if people know what that swatting is, but
it's when you
crazy.
Call a SWAT team on someone's house. Like you call the police and say, oh, there's a kidnapping situation or a hostage situation or whatever, and the police are obligated to send, a SWAT team there because they don't want to take risks. And then you can do it to random people.
And there's no way to find out who the person was who was
right.
pulling
I think
the
it's
prank
it's pretty hard to trace. So. Yeah.
Yikes.
I hope I succinctly described the drama of South by Southwest. It's been a week.
So just blocking these people on Twitter is not going to make it go away.
No, probably not so much. Especially because you have some people who are, celebrity status that are, I guess depending on what your opinion is, but are on the wrong side of the argument. Right. And so that kind of, I think that kind of escalates it and makes it worse because people see somebody who is respected maybe by the pop culture community, being involved, and that hurts.
All the nonsense that you're covering here with the deep web and Gamergate and all that stuff, do you find it hard to just go to sleep at night? Like when you get home, you're like, what's the point? I just got to deal with this tomorrow.
It is bizarre. Like trying to explain Gamergate to someone who's never read about it is very bizarre, and especially with people like this where they have real threats to their safety. And I mean, I can't imagine the position this panelist is on, calling her mom and saying, did you get swatted today? It's for this internet movement called Gamergate. Like, try explaining that to your mom, why a real threat of violence is coming to her front door because of this internet movement that is very hard to describe to someone who is unfamiliar with it. So it kind of goes to show, I guess, these internet communities and how, maybe removed from day-to-day life that they are, but they do matter, and it's about a broader conversation about whose voices are being heard in the tech community, and it's clear that
I think Breakthrough helps.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's clear that you have to do some counteracting of the ongoing tactics that are being used to silence people. So
I think when you try to describe it to somebody who hasn't been kind of at least following it, even just loosely or peripherally, it sounds ridiculous. Like it sounds like really this is going on now, and it's obviously a very serious thing. But you're right, when you try to describe it to somebody that has no idea, they're kind of like it's shock.
Right. Particularly, considering like the origin is allegedly like the ethics in journalism and video game journalism. It's not even ethics in journalism. It's ethics in video game journalism.
Yeah.
To go from that to like threats made against people on a panel and like swatting, like that's literally insane.
You know how you know it's serious? It was the storyline of an episode of SVU.
There you go. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how you know it reached the right status in the public eye.
Well, I remember when it first like broke, and I was watching this thread that was like spread out from 4chan, where people were like, "This is how we're going to blackmail this reporter. This is how we're going to like, it's threaten her with rape. This is how we're going to threaten people with murder." I was like, Jesus Christ! Like these people are just fucking nuts.
Yeah. And it's not even the tangible rape and murder threats, which are obviously very concerning, but just the constant stream of harassment that a lot of people get. I mean, I even had one of my articles tweeted by a prominent Gamergate person with the hashtag in my handle, and I spent like all weekend last weekend blocking people. And it was just like a few days for me, it's fine, but I know some people, that's their life, is just getting constant streams of people tweeting at them that they suck. And you might say, oh, it's internet harassment. It's on the internet. It doesn't matter. But it's...
Or mom.
It's your work. It's like these days, like the internet is where we live. It's where we work.
Of course, yeah.
And like imagine somebody coming into your office and sitting next to your desk all day and saying, you suck, you're bad, you suck and you're bad. Like it
gets to you.
Yeah, it's not easy to ignore. And I think some people, that's just their constant when they become a target of one of these things. And that's kind of what this panel was addressing, which is kind of why it's so unfortunate that it was canceled and why people were so upset. Because it's such an issue right now.
Do you ever get to write about anything fun?
Yes, I do. I get to try out all sorts of wacky things. I got to expense a ghost detector the other day.
Whoa.
And test to see if the Vice office is haunted. It was not.
What does
I
it
did
look
not
like?
hear any ghosts.
It's got two little things on it.
Is it the old
You can probably look
Ghostbusters
at it on
toy
the
that they put
website.
lights on?
It's like a little radio with if you click on that South by Southwest article, you can go to my byline and like click on my name.
But it's something people really think can detect ghosts. It's
Yeah.
like on
It's the
Ghost
third
Hunters.
one. Yeah.
Nice.
That's a spirit box.
It looks like a microphone.
$69.99
Looks like a
on
Bearcat
Amazon.
scanner.
Yeah.
It's like, I hear voices. No, you got somebody's portable phone.
It's just a radiation
And they're
detector.
talking shit about you. So this is it right here that we're
Right.
looking at, the
spirit box.
PSV7 Spirit Box.
Yep.
So what is this frequency that it's measuring here?
It just kind of cycles through radio stations, actually, and the concept is that spirits are able to manipulate the words coming out of the radio.
I think
and
K-Rock's
talk
haunted.
to you. Yeah,
So what did you find?
I didn't hear anything. And I did a control test, so I tested it in the Vice office. I didn't hear anything. And then I went to this restaurant near the Vice office that is known for being haunted. There's a New York Times article about how it's haunted. And so I tried it there too, and I didn't hear anything there. So
Which restaurant?
Sweetwater
Oh yeah.
in
Heard about
Williamsburg.
that.
Yeah, there's like a whole New York Times article about a lot of employees have quit very abruptly and said that they saw ghosts and things like that. And so I thought
What's
I'd
the
try
one
it
in the
there.
West Village that they said is haunted?
I don't know.
A restaurant?
They're all haunted.
Yeah, it's a pub
It's
down
New York
there.
City. Everything's haunted here.
I'm trying to think of the name of
Chumley's?
it.
The old speakeasy? That seems like it could be.
That could be. There could be people still in the walls there.
Yeah, I know. We're hiding out.
I don't remember it.
Through virtual walls.
So was this worth your time? I guess not. I mean, was it at least fun to do?
Yeah, it was fun to do.
What do you think you would have done if you actually found something?
I don't know, man. The Vice office is
I would've
moving,
dropped
so
it
I'd
and
be
ran.
like, good riddance.
Me too.
Well, the Amazon reviews were crazy because I got on Amazon and a lot of the reviews were like, please make sure you close the door to the other world. Like, this is not anything to mess around with. And like, there were like a
my
lot of
God.
warnings. And so I definitely took those into account when I was testing the spirit box. There were a lot of very
Well, did you
serious
close the
reviews.
door to the other world? Because
Yeah, are we gonna get haunted right now?
I mean, I
I'm gonna
might
have a
have
bone
brought
to
my
pick
ghost
with you.
with me.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Well, here comes Zool. Nothing we can do now. Thanks, Spirit Box.
Spirit box sounds like Tommy Two Tone.
Well, Nicholas has some stuff over here that doesn't look like Spirit
Yeah,
Box
completely
here.
unrelated to Gamergate and Ghosts.
Let's start
and
with
so
some.
forth.
Let's not go with the big gun here. Let's start with
Okay.
something smaller
All right,
and then
smaller.
work our way up.
Okay, well, I guess the main event will hold on, but right now I've got a couple of things over here. I've got the new Apple TV, which is in stores today, or it's trickling into stores today. And the new thing here is that I don't know what to do with this, but the new thing is that it has built-in Siri and has built-in App Store. Apple TV obviously has been around forever.
And they've never really updated it until now.
No, this is the first major update since 2010, so it's been a little while. Should
we pass it around?
Did they forget about it?
Yeah. Did they forget?
I'm like, oh wait, we got Apple TV. We've updated everything else.
Apple has frequently described Apple TV as a hobby. Like, obviously, their biggest business is the iPhone, followed by the iPad and stuff. But so Apple TV has just been there. They invest a whole lot into it, but it's there, and you plug it into your TV. You can watch Netflix, watch Hulu, watch the WWE Network, all that stuff. Any streaming service you can watch on.
How do you know my viewing habits, sir?
We may have very similar viewing habits. So the big thing this year, it's got Siri built into it. So the idea is that you press a button on the remote control, and you can ask Siri, find that episode of Friends where Chandler, stubs his toe. I don't watch Friends. I have no idea any episode plot line.
That probably is an episode. I'm sure that happened.
Or you can use
Find me the episode of Ms. Chandler Bong.
Yeah, there you go. Bing. Was it
You
a
could
Bing?
use that.
No,
You
that
can-
was his TV guide name, Ms. Chandler Bong.
Chandler Bong.
Okay, that's great. Then you could use just for generally. Find me comedies.
Lewis is
find
laughing
me-
because he knows exactly what episode I'm
Well,
talking about.
the quick start guide says, who stars in Guardians of the Galaxy is one of the examples.
Batista. Dave Batista's in it. I know that
Exactly.
much.
There you go.
So you can
Network
ask for
time.
show me comedies, show me Sylvester Stallone movies. The idea is that rather than trying to poke around with that cheap little Apple TV remote, or even with your phone, you can now talk to the
Wow,
TV.
it's heavy.
It's actually a little heavier than the previous model. It's probably about
it's a little bigger,
twice as big. Yeah. I met Apple yesterday. They ran me through all the features. It's a great little device. My only sort of concern with that is it starts at $150, which is a little if you're literally only concerned with watching Netflix or whatever on your TV, you can get cheaper devices like the Google Chromecast.
You can get Blu-ray players that stream Netflix for $40
yeah.
now.
And I mean, these apps could also already be built into your TV depending how old it is. So it depends. But, the idea is if you get this, you're getting more for your buck. You get Siri. There's an app store now. Before the previous models didn't have an app store. So now, just like the iPhone, developers can create apps, they can submit it to Apple, and as long as the apps don't break any of the App Store rules, you can be an Apple TV. So the first wave of things, there's a Periscope app, there's a bunch of simple little games. Apple's sort of really trying to portray this as not quite like an Xbox level console, but it's the games are not all that different from the Nintendo Wii, which was just a couple years ago. So you're waving around the controller. It's fun, lighthearted family entertainment. And as people buy this, as developers see there's a big market for the TV now is a place where we can develop apps for. The idea is that a smartphone, who cares? It's a piece of it's plastic and glass. Until developers actually make compelling software for it, what's the point of it? The idea.
Sure.
So it's the same thing with Apple TV. As it comes out, as people buy it, we wait for developers to sort of see what sort of new experiences they can create with it. There's one of the apps that Apple highlighted was Zuva. There's some exercise app where you do aerobics in front of it and you follow along and it measures. If you have an Apple Watch, it'll measure your heart rate as you do the exercise in front of the TV. So it's probably a little gimmicky right now, but
it's like Connect.
Yeah, it's very similar to to Connect, but it's from Apple, and if you're already thoroughly ensconced in the Apple ecosystem, you might as well just get it because you're going to watch Netflix, you're going to watch Hulu, and this from what I've tried, I've only used it an hour last night. Our review will probably go up Monday or Tuesday, but it's great. I mean, if everyone has a streaming thing, and if you're in the market, this is not a bad thing to consider from what I have seen so far.
So I'm guessing that if you don't have Apple TV and you're looking at it, it's worth getting. But if you have the original, wait for the price to drop.
It depends what you use the original for. If you just come home and you launch the Netflix app, that still works great. There's no real compelling reason to upgrade. If you're someone who's maybe I wouldn't mind playing games on my TV, or, maybe I wouldn't mind, I'm tired of using this dinky little remote. I want to actually, launch apps using, voice search. Then maybe it's worth considering. But if you're set now, I wouldn't say there's a super compelling reason to go out and get it.
Okay.
Immediately, at least.
Let's move on from that. Let's go to, is that Google Cardboard?
I've got, part of the theme tonight is virtual reality. I've got a Samsung Gear VR, and plugged into that is a Samsung Galaxy S6. We'll get to that later. And I also brought, just to sort of show off, the Google Cardboard, which is basically, this came out a couple months ago. The idea is that Google wanted to really jumpstart VR development. So they've sort of mass produced this like little cardboard. It's literally like
it looks like a viewfinder.
Yeah, it's a viewfinder, like an old school with the little discs or whatever. The idea is you plug an Android. It could be actually Android or iOS. You plug a smartphone in there, and you download the compatible app, and you could you've got like a very basic sort of VR experience. It's obviously not as advanced as the Gear VR or the Oculus Rift, which requires like a beefed out PC to use.
Right.
But if you want, I've seen there was a World of Warcraft movie trailer that came out in a 360 video a couple months ago, and you were on like a griffin and you were like flying around a Stormwind, I believe. My WoW experience comes out, and it's pretty cool. You just sort of look around, and the idea for these sort of early VR experiences is that it's not like a Star Trek hologram or whatever. The idea is that you put the headset on and you can tilt and whirl your head around in all 360 degrees, so you're not just looking at like a 16:9 image and that's static. You can completely look around the room, and the scenery changes, and ideally you have headphones on so you get 3D audio, so it all seems way more immersive than just looking at a YouTube video.
We're heading towards Ready Player One. It's going to happen.
The Google Cardboard had a huge presence at San Diego Comic-Con. They were just handing these things out all over the place. We got a bunch of them in the back. So what I'll do is can't give them away right now because we're racing against the clock. But over the weekend, we'll give these things away. Just so follow us. It's Erik Nagel on Twitter. We'll give away a bunch of these Google Cardboards. Download the app. I tried it. It's actually pretty cool. There was a video where a guy was in a helicopter. And they had all the cameras in a 360-degree recording, and you can see him take off in the helicopter from the west side in New York City. He's above the city. All in real time. You can look down, and now you see down below, above, and you can turn around and see New Jersey while all this is going, and you don't see the video move at all.
Yeah.
Amazing stuff.
That's cool. They just announced a partnership the other day with the New York Times. The New York Times is going to be sending free Google Cardboard to all of their print subscribers and a select subset of their digital subscribers. They're going to be launching a series of VR documentaries. I believe it's next week or 2 weeks from now. The idea is, the first one is going to be about the refugee crisis. So the idea is that, you can watch a documentary and that's great, and those are, typically excellent. How much better would it be if it's in this new VR sort of perspective?
And do they sell that in the Google Cardboard? Yeah.
I really don't even go to like consumer electronic stores, but yeah, you can go to the website and they start at like $20. And there's different versions that are like a little fancier, different shaped. This is the most basic one, but yeah, they start at like 20, and I think they top out at like 50 or something. And then from there, like the next level would be something like the Gear VR, which is, you do need a newer Samsung Galaxy phone. And then the headset you can find for like 100 online, 100 or 200, depending on which store you go to. So yeah.
All right. Let's jump to the big guy there, only because we're pressed for time.
Sure.
This is the one that everybody's been waiting for here. Everyone has been staring from that other booth over there. They want to see the virtual reality porn.
Yeah, well, a backstory here.
Is this from your private collection?
This is not from my private collection. This is the headset.
Did you expense this device?
No, the headset is literally on loan from Samsung. I actually used this initially to watch the Democratic debate in VR a couple weeks ago.
Sure it is.
That was pretty boring. On my board, I was like, my whole opinion was like, this sort of like defeats the purpose of VR. Like VR is supposed to like take you to like new experientions and places you've never been.
Where you want to be.
And now it's like I'm sitting in an auditorium watching like Bernie Sanders like talk about like I don't. God bless them, but like this is not the best advertisement for the potential of VR. So the headset's on loan from Samsung, the phone's on loan from Samsung, and the impetus was there was a French like a storied French pornography company maybe last week. They released their first VR adult film, and we had done a story on it, and the UK writer who initially was researching the story, she realized like, oh, I don't have a VR headset. Does anyone in New York have one? And I was like, oh, well, I have one. And I certainly didn't wake up that day thinking I was going to be like trying to get VR porn to work on the thing. The biggest issue with this is that there's no like and there probably never will be like a VR porn app store, so you can't just like, so you can't just like put on the headset, like click around and like download. Like that's probably not going to be allowed by the Oculus folks. So you have to go through gigantic sort of rigmarole.
Aren't people dying in the Oculus Rift one?
I've never heard of it.
I thought.
I think that's just South Park.
I know there's the. Oh, maybe that's where I got it. Because I know it was like a horror suspense thing, but wow,
it was a good South Park.
I thought people were breaking into your house trying to kill you.
What the hell are you talking about? Are you smoking something?
No.
Yeah, and can I have it?
Sorry, continue.
No, so the problem is like you have to basically effectively sideload all this content onto the phone, and it's like if you're like the average Joe, like you're not going to connect your phone to your computer and fiddle with the Android file system, create a new folder, copy. Like that's just a gigantic friction to like a seamless experience.
Right.
But I did. It took me the better part of a day going back and forth with tech support. Like how the heck I'm on like these weird message boards with like not fellow, but like VR porn enthusiasts. like how do I get this thing to work? And I'm like, I have other things to do today too. Like I didn't wake up with the intention of like doing this story. So it took the better part of a day, but like towards the end of the day,
trying to get this request passed for weeks.
So I figured it out. Huzzah. And it worked.
Fire it up.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys want to put? Let me load it up here.
Give us one of your personal selections.
I mean,
there.
Well, there's two files on here. There's a softcore scene where the girls are just sort of like
nope,
and there's a hardcore scene where
there you go.
where stuff is happening.
Is Derek over there? Get Derek in here.
Yeah, I'm putting it on. So
now, is this like a point of view where you're seeing the girl in front of you?
Yes, you are the guy.
Can you choose the star, like a Rachel star, or?
I mean, you could download whatever clip you want and load it to your phone. But right here, I just have the one hardcore clip. Sorry,
this is ridiculous.
I can imagine what the chat rooms with the VR enthusiasts are like. It's got to be insane.
It's also creepy too when you have your phone in there and then your name's engraved on the back, so everyone's like, "Oh, look what he's doing."
You have to give that
this
thing
is
back
playing.
clean.
If anyone,
do we have one?
They're not. It's not particularly comfortable to wear with like headphones. Is the issue? You put it in and you can adjust the focus. There's like a little dial up top. The general idea
it's
is
not
that
the focus. Something got shot on the lens. Oh.
That was cleaned up already. Anyhow,
Allie, how does it look?
I'm just like in the studio though. Nothing's happening. Do I have to press play?
Oh, is this a casting video? Are they asking you where you're from?
They're trying to they're getting me to take my clothes off.
Oh, you're on the wrong end of it.
Yeah, my thoughts, which I wrote on the site, were like basically like there's no question it's way more immersive than like a random tube site. Like it's just demonstrably like a completely different experience.
You're right, and
but the issue is that it's just a little bit silly.
It's pretty silly.
It's pretty heavy to wear on your head. It doesn't really fit well with glasses. So
puff,
it's like
puff, pass, Giddles.
It's really hard to multitask, is what he's saying.
All right, Matt's got it on here now.
It's cool. You look up and you're like, hey, look, the ceiling is there.
Matt has to take his glasses off to look at that.
It's going to be blurry for him.
No, hang on. That's what I'm saying. Does it have a thing to readjust if you have to take your glasses
you
off?
can adjust. It works with glasses. They're just a little trickier to like actually get the fit proper on your head.
Well, the only boobs are on the wall. You'll see.
All right.
Oh, when I was there was like people like coming up to the camera and like unzipping pants.
Oh no, they're stationary right now. But off to the side, there was a topless woman on the wall.
It's asking me to make a selection.
Sure it is.
How long is the video clip?
No, it's not saying selection. You have the word wrong.
Like 10 minutes, I think. Yeah.
How long has anyone gotten through the video clip?
That particular.
Now I'm in outer space for some reason.
That particular clip is from a company called Boink VR.
Of course it is.
They're sort of the preeminent VR porn providers.
They come in first.
I guess it wasn't good enough because it just took me to my videos.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's just Eric petting the dog.
Boink. VR. Full circle.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Tap the little. There's like a little touchpad.
Exit
on the right.
to Oculus Home.
Hit no.
No.
I hope that my videos
This
are
is
just
too much work.
Yeah. That's the issue. It's like if you're just like,
it's not.
You want to do something. This is a whole
I put
lot
that on and it was just like it worked. I don't know.
I don't know.
It seems awesome, but like, what about cleanup? Like, you can't see the napkin. You can't see what
It's
happens?
on loan.
You can't just touch it.
I mean, I don't want to say that the people using this live alone, so there's probably not a whole lot in there.
So, all right, we're running out of time here. I apologize for that. The virtual reality thing here, that you watch the Democratic debate and porn.
Yes.
Is this worth your time and your money?
I would say The first real killer applications for this will be gaming. The Oculus Rift is going to come out early next year, and it's going to take off from there. If you're just like a regular person who doesn't really care about gaming,
Derek dropped it on the floor.
Oh, Butterfingers!
You break it, you buy it, my friend.
You got a little too excited.
Mad. Okay. Sorry, Junior.
Just, you know what? He works at Vice, too. He works in the music division. Go over to wherever they are and just, steal
I
as
don't know
much money.
They keep editorial in a little hole in the wall. Anyhow, yeah. So the idea, like, VR will really explode next year with gaming. If you're just like a civilian, you don't really care about gaming, I would say give it some time. But I truly believe that like VR has a potential. I mean, Facebook bought Oculus for $2 billion. Facebook is not going to throw around. I mean, not that that's a whole lot of money to Facebook, but they're not going to plonk down money on some random startup just because Mark Zuckerberg thinks it's cool. They believe in it.
I guess outside of porn and gaming, I don't see the applications for it making a lot of sense. Like, I don't know that I would want to watch a movie like that. Well, why would I want to look around? I want to focus on.
Maybe you want to play Mario Tennis.
That's gaming, sir. I just said gaming works.
Right. Well, some of these sort of other applications I've heard, Google was very keen to stress. Like, imagine if you're a teacher and all the kids in the classroom have a cardboard, which are cheap. Everyone's got like cheap Android phones. You can go to the Louvre and you can take your students on a museum trip. And odds are your local school district in the United States probably can't afford a school trip to Paris anytime soon. But maybe they can get some cardboard. And
it's the plot to Ready Player One. I'm telling you. Read the book.
The future is now, Matt. It's coming. Nicholas, let's get the plugs and everything for you and Carrie out.
I'm the editor of Short Circuit, which is the consumer tech section of Motherboard. The website is motherboard.vice.com. And Carrie, And Carrie's a reporter at Motherboard, and she's really great.
You want to give out your Twitter? Have people follow you?
It's KARI_Paul, P-A-U-L.
P-A-U-L.
Tweet at me.
Very
but
simple.
not that she sucks.
Yeah,
nice
don't
things.
tweet that.
Tweet nice
I mean, you can. I
things.
might block you. I've been pretty liberal with my blocking.
I'm at Nicholas A. DeLeon on Twitter.
Spell that out.
Nicholas A. D-E-L-E-O-N.
All right, so if you want to see some of the stuff that we got to review here, I'm a little upset we didn't get a chance to smash the phone around, the brand new...
I can come by anytime.
Yes, we'll have to have you come back and then we'll throw phones around here and try to break everything. We'll go around the room, get out of here. Matt, what do you got?
You can find me on online Geek Stuff OG on Twitter and Instagram, and of course, bkgeekstuff.com every Thursday for new episodes of the podcast.
All right, Giddles?
Giddlebase on the Twitter and Instagram. And then November 15th, I'm doing a Chili takedown in Brooklyn. So everyone's around. Going to be at the Royal Palm Shuffleboard Club, Chili. Come out for Chili.
There you go. Allie Breen.
Breen Screen on Twitter, Allie Breen on Instagram, and alliebreen.com for live dates.
All right, there you go. And Matt, you got something there too?
Yeah, coming up on Friday, December 4th, we have our next beer tasting show. It's the Holiday and Winter Beer Tasting Show.
Nice.
Ooh. Yeah, man. Joining us again, of course, there will be our friends from the Masters of None, Jay, Mike, and Art, because they are the masters behind our beer tasting show. You can find them online at Masters of None. And Ken Cage is coming back, as well as 2SP Brewing. I hope they bring some of that pumpkin stuff, because that stuff
that pumpkin was crazy.
Was amazing last time, right? And also, I guess we have some spots for other brewers to participate, right?
We're going to try something new. Instead of Jay and the Masters of None, we'll bring some stuff for us to try. We got such good response from having Ken and 2SP Brewing here that other breweries have reached out and said, we'd like to do something like this and bring you our stuff, see what you think.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a few slots open. If you want to reach me, eRock Radio on Twitter or Geek Stuff OG on Twitter, hit us up. Let us know. We'll put you in. Bring your stuff in here that you think would be good for the holidays or for the winter, and let's try everything out.
Yeah, man. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Again, that's going to be December 4th. Friday, December 4th will be that show.
And erockcomment@gmail.com. You can send information for there. One last thing before we go. Tomorrow being Halloween, some friends of ours, Chad and Oscar, Big O and Dukes down in Washington, D.C., are having their Hoardoween party at Mad Fox Brewery. They have their own beer line.
Nice.
Big O and Dukes. They're putting out their third beer.
When are they coming?
We got to get them to send some of that up here.
December 4th?
No, maybe. But if you're in the D.C., Virginia, Maryland area, go to bigoanddukes.com and go and check out their brand new beer that they're debuting tomorrow at Mad Fox Brewery.
Very cool.
All right, and E-Rock Radio on Instagram and Twitter for me. That's it. Next week on the show, Nick of Toys is coming back with a big announcement.
Nice.
Our friend Brian Shea from Game Informers is going to be here telling you about games for the holidays. And Jenny and Sarah from Project You Are Okay are coming back.
Awesome.
To finish that conversation. So I think that's about it, everybody. Thank you so much. Remember, the show will be on SiriusXM on demand later this weekend. And until next time, be seeing you.
It's Erik Nagel. And that's all the time we have. Follow the show at It's Erik Nagel on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Unless we do something stupid or something better comes along. We'll be back next time here on OP Radio.